that's a show topic now. Oh, slow your roll there, dude. And what grants you that plus 100 bonus? I'm gonna need you to roll at disadvantage. Yeah, no, I just want to know where you get the bonus from. Okay, so roll with advantage then. Because if not, the car will come rolling through your wall and crush you against a mailbox. Well, Fisk doesn't usually remember.
600 once.
Fun fact, everybody, you've all been muted since the beginning of the show. Nobody's heard the fun part about, you know, any of the dirty sex jokes or the things with chimpanzees or bananas.
That's
Okay,
probably fine. We probably want to keep
but
this off the internet anyway.
I think we just need to reiterate that Tyler won't fix the brakes in his car. But hi, welcome to Cosmic Chronicles, where we play Starfinder and don't just talk about brakes. But sometimes we talk about brakes.
I have a bicycle and I live really close to my job. I don't need to fix brakes in my car just yet.
Fix the brakes in your car, damn it!
You're so healthy.
Giving me anxiety. What if you have an emergency and you have to drive somewhere? And then your brakes fail and you end up in a fatal car crash and you die. Who's gonna play Tailwind?
The DM, I assume.
No! Unacceptable. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna do a quick recap of the last session because it's been like over a month.
I mean, we haven't played since last year.
I do what I want, woman.
I was waiting for the stream to do the talkie noise, but I'm not hearing it.
I think it only does it for Winston because he's selfish and doesn't transmit his.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does it for everybody watching the stream.
Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed hearing I do what I want, woman. Thank you for that, Tyler.
You're welcome.
So recap of the last session.
Donated something like 15,000 bits.
Jesus Christ. So 10,000 bits is $126, and 25,000 bits is $308. So somewhere in between there. I'm not going to do the math right now.
And now go look up what a pair of pads and shoes costs for a truck.
I don't know what the exact problem is. It's fine. Let's talk about the game.
On last week's episode.
On last week's episode, Tyler, you care more about making a computerized woman's voice say stupid things on the internet than the potential life of you and maybe others in your car. God damn it!
It's his life. He can live how he wants. And he likes to live dangerously. So what was our recap? Because it was like, a year ago.
Yeah, we're getting there, but apparently breaks and stuff.
Breaks are
Let's try again. Recap take
give me a break.
4.
Oh my God. Okay, the recap of the last session is our... Does anyone have a better word than, like, intrepid group of adventurers? Because I feel like that's the most cliche way to describe...
Pack of idiots?
Fine, okay, last session...
Merry gang of fools?
Yeah, the merry gang of fools, who were on the burning archipelago to track down a magically imbued space helmet that would allow them to see creatures from the plane of fire on the mortal plane, managed to retrieve that helmet and then go on a wild goose chase across the archipelago that took them to the high security city of the Lashunta, and they basically broke in through a hole in the wall of the church and found what turned out to be a baby fire elemental who had been wreaking havoc across the bubbles. Um,
Baby.
he's a very big baby, like 20 feet tall and very, very strong
But
and
he's such a
dangerous.
sweetheart.
He's big by our standards.
But he also likes to break things.
I mean, can
God,
you
we're
imagine
back on breaks again.
how much? Can you imagine how terrifying a toddler, but like a toddler the size of a house would be? Like, imagine how much stuff toddlers break as is, and they're toddlers. Like,
I'd rather not.
put that on the scale of a toddler the size of a house. It would be fucking
So what was it?
terrifying.
Or maybe it's a puppy. What was that? Clifford the Big Red Fire Elemental, I think is what the book was.
All right, Clifford was a grown ass dog, and he obeyed Emily Elizabeth.
He was a sweet pupper who could knock things over.
Whatever. So, they located the fire elemental. Grits almost shot it, or did shoot it and missed.
I think I missed. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely missed.
So they came very, very close to initiating combat with it, but managed to avoid it. And then Fisk befriended it, I guess. Fisk patted it on the head a few times. And Terwin decided to head back to the monastery to try and get help from, or not monastery, the university, which is where the elemental had been summoned. So she went back to the university, or was trying to get help with the elemental because they couldn't figure out how to get it out of the armed city of the Lashunta, their little like cult or whatever.
I was looking for help, but probably not the kind that I need.
Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
And in the meantime, the fire elemental decided that it wanted to go home. And thus far, we have not really established what it means by that or where it plans to go, but what we do know is that it picked up Fisk and Grits, put them on its shoulder, and just decided to go. Which led to them proclaiming themselves Saren Ray's ascendants, since the elemental is invisible to everyone else on the mortal realm. So it just looked like they were kind of floating through the air coming out of the Temple of Saren Ray.
All hail Grits.
And now they're being followed in a sun skimmer by the rest of their party, and also a giant crowd of Lashunta who are cheering on Saren Ray's ascendant. And I think that's where we left off. You guys are actually on the shoulders of this fire elemental, and it is flying through space, totally unprotected. You guys are wearing your suits and helmets, so you have air, but you really are not sure what is keeping you alive at this point, because the sun is literally right there. And you're also riding a fire elemental. There's just a lot of things that could go wrong here, and you don't know where you're going either.
That is of concern, of notable concern.
And then Terwin and Deoda, you guys are on the sun skimmer, and you can still see them kind of in the distance. They're very small now. The sun skimmer is going to have a problem in that you guys are approaching the dock, where you would dock on the Dawn Shore bubble, and it looks like the elemental is not going that direction. And sun skimmers are only equipped to run on the lines between the bubbles that are set up. So you guys are going to dock at Dawn Shore, and the elemental is just kind of skirted around to the north of that bubble. I will share the map out again just in case.
Well, I suppose we should just dock here and hope they don't burn to death.
Your sympathy for our well-being is overwhelming.
Oh, I guess I could contact you on the brain communicator.
On what?
The elven earpiece.
The mind
Ah.
rocks.
Oh, right, the mind rock.
Okay, the mind rocks.
Please don't burn to death, thanks.
Okay. Well, you guys have it maybe 10 minutes before you dock, but you do see that that's coming up. So you guys were headed from Asana Town to Dawnshore, and you can see on the map the energy tethers between the bubbles are not to scale. It does say that down in the corner.
Did you share the map out?
Yeah, it's probably taking a second. But it does say that in the corner, but just to reiterate, those tethers are not to scale. So what that means is that there's actually a lot longer in between there. It's not just a little short blip. But basically, you guys are headed straight for that dock on Dawnshore, and the elemental has kind of turned and is going along the edge of the bubble. There are two other bubbles adjacent to Dawnshore, and it looks like it's headed in that direction.
Oh, I guess that's not super far.
Pretty sure we're gonna die.
Well, we're all gonna die eventually.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Are we still on the skimmer?
Yes.
Do I have any options outside of hang on for dear life?
What did you have in mind?
Well, I didn't really. I don't know what else Fisk would be doing except for hanging on for dear life.
Then I suppose that's what you're doing. I can't tell you what your character would do.
Sarcastic face.
You always have an option.
Imagine Grit's just holding on,
I could let go and
little claws and flopping up and down.
That
pretty
seems
much,
accurate.
from where we're seated on the shoulders of giants, where does it look like it's headed?
It's going like skirting around the edge of the Dawnshore bubble. It's not close enough to the bubble to like you're probably a good 50 to 100 feet away, but it is staying along the curve of the bubble as it goes around to the north.
So it's not like, taking us directly into the heart of the sun.
Not currently.
Okay. Is it swimming like, breaststroke, butterfly? Is it on its back?
It's floating. You aren't sure how it's being propelled.
Fucking sun magic.
I mean, probably the sun is right there.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
Actually, if you really want to, if you feel like Fisk would really try to pay attention to this, you can make a roll. I would say, just make a perception roll if you feel like the this is something Fisk would really be trying to figure out, like how he's flying.
I think we might be a little quiet.
I'm letting the... Do you think so? That might be possible.
Please do fix.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll let the roll decide for me. That's the point.
Okay, so based on the way that the elemental is moving, and from what you can see around you, your best guess is that he is propelling himself forward using waves of heat coming up from the sun or like flares coming up from the sun. Not all of them are necessarily perceptive, but there is energy constantly emanating from that star, and he's using that to basically kind of surf along.
Wicked. Okay.
Grits, who didn't roll, has 0 idea he's being propelled through space by magic and magic alone. And he's not
Whee!
even confident in that magic. Like, he's pretty sure he's gonna die.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die.
All right. Well, I guess Grits and I hold on for dear life and see where this is taking us. Somewhere, maybe.
So in the span of about 10 minutes, the Sun Skimmer docks with Dawnshore. And you guys have made it past that first bubble up there. You have, it kind of like went through the energy tether and just kept going.
Okay.
So we're at the Dawnshore port now, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
when the Sun Skimmer docks, Ergon, who has been trying to corral Thimble this whole time, just picks Thimble up and says, I'm going to take him back to the ship so that he doesn't get hurt or lost or something else.
Probably a good idea.
And he turns and starts heading to the Dawnshore spaceport. He's going to head back there with Thimble because Thimble is currently in like dog with separation anxiety mode. Because Grits is too far away for him to see.
Poor thing.
He's like freaking out. Ergon is in full blown dad mode. He's like, nope, it's okay, it's okay. He's like trying to calm it down, but it's like not having any of it. Also, thank you for watching The Hidden Twig. We really appreciate it, and we love Starfinder, so I'm glad that somebody else out there appreciates this. So, Data and Taron, what are you guys doing?
Can we still see Grits and Fix?
Not at this
Fisk?
point.
Well,
we gone.
guess I'll just go towards where they were headed.
Okay. So you guys want to kind of skirt along the outside edge of Dawnshore?
If I can.
We have to
Yeah.
like walk or take some kind of like.
Space
Walking is
Vespas?
going to be slow. Oh my god. Yep. Yeah. Space Vespas. No. Walking is slow, but it's going to be probably the surest way to stay along the edge like that. Any of the major public transport that you pick up is going to be so right now it's so at the top of Dawnshore, do you see that there's like 2 little bubbles off to the right-hand side above Asana Town?
Yeah.
So right now it's kind of skirting along the outside edge of Dawn Bubble, and it has, you guys couldn't see it anymore, but it was headed in that direction, like to the north side.
Okay. Well, then okay. Then in character, Data will say to Terrawin, "Do you think it's possible it's headed back to the university? That's where this all started."
I suppose it could be. We could try to make it there and hope it's going.
I mean, it's going to be hard to track just by visual alone. Is there no way we can get in contact with the others? I'd like to try talking to them.
Okay. It's got a little bit of interference. You guys are still barely within range. But it's hard to hear them because they're getting further away as they go. But yeah, if you were to reach out and they were to say like, yeah, I can hear you, you could hear that. It would just be very faint.
Okay. Fisk, can you hear me? Come in, Fisk.
Can I hear her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of.
I don't know how much longer we're gonna have this connection, but we can't see you anymore. We've lost visual. We're thinking maybe you're headed back towards the university. If we meet you there, do you think you could try to radio back in?
I don't know where we're going, but I'll let you know when we get there.
Try to stay on comms as long as you can. We're headed alongside Dawn Shore, what we think is parallel to you, but we did lose visual.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, just hold on and stay alive.
Okay. So you do know that you have two options here, based on your knowledge. There is a tour bus that kind of goes around the northern ring of Dawnshore, but it's slow, it's full of tourists, and they're definitely going to stop every few hundred or so feet to like look at a new landmark or whatever, and they kind of go around that ring to basically give tourists a good view of the sun through the bubble. There's another bus that is going to be a much more direct route to Stella Cuna. It's like the bus that students use when they need to get to class. You can definitely get on it and take that across to Stella Cuna. It's not going to give you visual. It's going to be going the fastest route, which at this point, you guys docked pretty close to the Archipelago Senate chambers. What it would do is go down that diagonal line and across and back up. So it's going to be faster and more direct, and there will be not a lot of stops along the way, but there would be no chance of a visual, provided that the elemental keeps the same course.
Terwin, I know there's a bus route we could take that's more direct to Stella Cuna, but we'd have no way of telling if that's even the right direction. What do you want to do? Do you want to go on foot, hope for the best? We could split up.
I'm not sure if splitting up is the best idea.
That's true. You did get jumped in an alley.
Yes. Maybe we just take a risk and go straight to Stella Cuna.
I mean, hopefully if we stay in range, they can contact us on comms.
Did you explain the tour bus situation?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just said there's a bus that goes to Stella Cuna. You can ask.
I suppose the bus is our best bet, unless is there anything that would go around the edge of the...
I think so. I think it's one of those tourist buses. I've never taken one myself, though.
Maybe that's not the best idea.
We could always hop on and get off.
That's true.
Fisk, do you read me?
Do I still read her?
Nope. You guys have moved out of range.
Crap. I think we've already lost comms. They must be moving fast. We have to make a decision.
Maybe one of us could take one bus and the other could take the other.
That's fine with me. We should stay in range with each other, I think.
Right. If we both got on different buses, would we still be able to stay in range?
So you wouldn't be able to know that because you wouldn't know the bus route.
That's true.
Um,
I'm going to assume we would be because we had been talking to Fisk from here, and they were like far away from us.
they're out in space, yeah. I guess, is there a bus ready to jump on, or are we waiting at a bus stop?
The first bus that's going to be coming by is the student bus. And it runs, there's a bus that runs on the hour every hour, and you're coming up on the hour, so it'll be there in about 5 minutes. The tourist bus, this isn't a pickup zone for the tourist bus, so you would need to locate the nearest kiosk for that and determine when the next tour would be starting.
That's too much trouble.
And how long would I estimate that, like, walking along that outside would take?
So, considering this isn't to scale, while it looks like this is, kind of walkable, it's probably realistically a good hour or more to walk the outside edge from where you guys came in to Stella Cuna, because that's the biggest of the bubbles.
Okay.
That's a long walk.
I think I'm going to take the bus. You can come with, or we can just meet you there.
Let's just go together.
All right, let's get to the bus stop. We've already lost contact anyway. Maybe we can head it off.
I hope so.
All right, then
we'll,
I'm going to go to the bus stop.
yeah, I guess
Okay.
we'll trundle over to the bus.
Oh my god. So it takes a few minutes, but the bus shows up. You guys get on. Tara, when you have to pay, Deoda has a bus card already.
How much is it?
It's like 1 credit, dude.
This is unacceptable. I can't be paying these exorbitant bus. I'll pay that.
Didn't know this Terowin was such a penny pincher.
It would be free if you were a student.
I don't have a student ID.
Well, there you go. It's 1 credit. It takes about 20 minutes to get across the bubble and over to the port to take a skimmer across to Stella Cuna.
When we get there, before we get on the skimmer, I'm going to see if I can contact Fisk or Grits.
Okay.
Fisk, Grits, can you hear me?
The bus trundles. It is trundling.
Yeah, you can hear him.
Her. Come on, Sarah.
Them. It's them. Hear them.
Yeah,
Stop
them.
assuming my pronouns.
Terowin, you can hear them.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna yell, "Save Grits! Grits don't know how to fly! Grits don't want to die!"
What do you guys see?
You guys have made it all in that time span. You've made it all the way around the Dawnshore bubble, and the fire elemental has circled Stella Cuna once, and it currently seems like it's looking for a way to get into that bubble, and it hasn't quite figured out the ports yet.
We're it looks like we're outside of the bubble. I think it's trying to find a way in.
If we can hear you, it must be Stella Cuna, so we're in the right place. I think it's trying to get back to the university. There must be some kind of portal, or like maybe the portal that it came through is still open, or maybe it's just going back to the one place it knew it started.
That makes sense. It might feel safe there. Some kind of familiarity.
Well, we can't help but find a way in, but we can go. I'll go ahead. I would suggest that we're going to go ahead and go into Stella Cuna, because I think that's where it's trying to get to.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to get on the skimmer.
The skimmer from here to Stella Cuna is about 10 minutes, which is way shorter than the last sun skimmer you guys had to take.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll jump on that.
Okay. So it takes you across to Stella Cuna. As you guys are passing, you actually see Grits and Fisk. The fire elemental, not that you can see it, seems like it's climbing the bubble right now. It's climbing up the bubble, and you see them. They are, at this point, because the elemental has circled Stella Cuna, it's between the Sun Atlas area and where you guys are crossing at Dawnshore. And you see them kind of being hauled up the side of the bubble.
Okay.
Oh boy.
They're not dead yet, so.
They're not dead yet.
So what do you guys want to do, Grits and Fisk?
I don't really think we can do a lot. I mean, I think we kind of either hold on or let go until it gets where it's going.
Letting go sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, Fisk generally would agree with you.
So while he was basically surfing, you guys had no trouble staying on his back because he kind of was like laying out flat. And gravity. Now he is climbing. I'm gonna need you guys to make strength saves because you actually have to hold on versus gravity right now.
Strength save, huh?
Ooh.
Is there a difference between a strength save and a strength check?
Just do a strength check. And you could technically do fortitude, but that isn't really what I want. So go ahead and just make a strength.
Can it please be fortitude?
Okay.
Okay. So Fisk, you're fine. Grits, your little arms, they are not super strong. And as the fire elemental continues climbing, you start to lose your grip and start sliding off its back.
Can I grab him?
I was going to say you have an opportunity to make a reflex save to see if you can grab him. You grab one goblin hand.
Can I hoist him back up onto the elemental's shoulders? It has shoulders, kind of.
You're going to need to make another strength check for me. Yes. Very slowly and very painfully, because that isn't actually a super good check considering that you have like nothing on top of that, and you are fighting against holding yourself up and pulling someone else up. But you do manage.
At least I didn't do the usual and roll a 1.
Correct. That would have been bad. You would have also fallen. So, Grits, you started to slip off, but as you flailed your arms trying to grab back on, Fisk grabbed one of them and has managed to haul you back up onto the fire elemental's shoulder.
Fist saves Grits! Or something to that effect.
Yeah. Just try to hold on. I don't know if I can carry you.
I'm gonna grab back onto the fire elemental.
Okay. So, Deoda and Taron, what are you guys doing?
Guess I'm just waiting for the skimmer to arrive.
You guys have docked. You're good.
Oh, okay. I guess if I can see them, then I'm gonna go over to where they are. Like, I'm gonna start moving in that direction.
Yeah, me too.
You're kind of climbing up. You can see there's like a diagonal line heading up from where that skimmer ports towards the Solar University. And the elemental is kind of climbing up in that direction towards like the top of the bubble, which would be over Stella Cuna Solar University.
Okay, so I just see two very small people like floating above the ball.
Yeah, they're kind of dots right now. They're just small black dots.
I'm gonna see if I can get as close to those black dots as I can.
I mean, they're moving towards Solar University.
Go to college then.
I mean, you probably need to. Has Terwin even gone to high school?
You know what? Not with her background.
Are you gonna start shaming
I
her
know.
now? No chill.
No chill. Okay. You guys are headed to the university then.
What's the elemental doing now?
Climbing. It says home occasionally. Home. And it keeps climbing.
Okay, I will try to pat its shoulder, reassuringly, without falling.
Okay. Have you spoken to it at all this whole time?
Not in the past stretch.
So not in like over 3 hours?
I don't know how long we've been. In the first stretch, which was the last session, I think Fisk did say something like, please don't kill us or something, and it said no
Yes.
hurt.
That's correct.
But, I mean, past that, I think Fisk is generally probably just holding on tightly.
Okay. All right. It takes you guys a few minutes to get to the university by foot, but you do make it, and you can see by the time you make it there, the black dots are directly over the university and have been for several minutes
Okay, so they're just floating there.
for now.
Fisk, what's happening?
So has it stopped climbing at this point?
Yes, it's now just saying home insistently and repeatedly while looking down.
We've stopped. I think it's still trying to find a way in the bubble. Can you find an entrance to let it in? Maybe I can guide it there?
We might be able to talk to some of the scientists here.
Okay, I guess I'll just try to keep it peaceful. If you can find a way in, I think it needs to get in. It keeps, I mean, it still wants to get home. This thing came from the university, right?
If I remember correctly.
Maybe there's still a portal or something here that can get it back to its real home. I'll try to pacify it if you can find a way in.
I'm gonna look at Data and ask her, do you know where any of the scientists or any of the professors, I suppose, would...
I didn't go to school here. um, to be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time in Stella Cuna.
Okay, let's, I guess, find someone who can help, maybe? Is there, like, an information booth or, like, anything like that nearby?
There's not really an information booth. The Solar University isn't exactly like a tourist spot in the archipelago, so it's pretty much just a lot of students wandering around.
I guess I'll pull a student aside. Excuse me,
Yeah, I need to get to class.
can you, help me for just a minute?
What do you need? Are you lost? Who are
Sort
the
of.
teachers?
Well, that's the thing. We're not, students here, but do you remember the incident with the fire elemental?
He kind of like jerks his arm away from you. Hey, I wasn't involved with that. And if you're asking questions, I don't want to... No, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm late for class. And he turns and leaves in a hurry.
Okay. Is there like a directory or anything I can look at?
There's if you spend a few minutes looking, you can probably find like a campus map.
I guess I'll have to do.
And it has basically the names of the different buildings on them, which doesn't do you a whole lot of good because they're just like different random alien names, because those are the names of people.
Right.
There's a couple of them that say, like Department of, and that gives you a better idea. A lot of them just say, so and so's name, Hall, or something to that effect. You do see a Department of Stellar Research, though, on there, and it looks like it's pretty close. It's a couple buildings over from where you are right now.
Okay. Department of Stellar Research. That seems like a good starting point. What do you say we head there?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I guess I'll start heading in that direction then.
I'll calm to Fisk again. We're trying to figure something out on our end. Let us know if something happens.
Okay, we'll do. And Fisk is gonna kind of pat the elemental again and say, I know. We're gonna try to find a way in, okay? You need to go into the bubble to get home, right?
When you say that, it says, home! And it starts slamming its fists against the bubble and trying to dig through the glass.
No.
I want to try to calm it down again.
Okay, well, first, I'm going to need you guys to make checks again. Go ahead and both make reflex saves to not fall off when it starts slamming against the bubble. Okay, you guys are good. You're holding
Lots
on.
of bonuses.
That's what you really wanted, was a fortitude save. Or, a reflex save. Fisk, you can try to calm it down. It's going to be a diplomacy check to try and calm it down. And you're going to need to tell me what you're saying.
So Fisk is gonna say, hey, it's okay. If you keep slamming, we'll fall off, and then we won't be able to help you get home. Just hang on a little bit. Our friends in the bubble they're trying to find a way to get you back to your home.
Okay, diplomacy.
He
just says, home, and keeps trying to dig into the glass. You're starting to see scratches on the surface. You are not sure how thick the glass is, and you're not sure how much magic is encompassing the bubbles, since none of the scientists thus far have managed to determine how the bubbles managed to function this close to the sun. So you don't know if this is really a threat to the bubble or not, but you are starting to see scratches on the surface of the glass.
Okay. I guess while we wait up here every couple of minutes, maybe not even that long, Fisk is going to kind of continue just to try to soothe it, I guess, as you would a child, like he was doing back under the tree.
Okay. Terwin and Dada, you guys make it to that Department of Solar Research.
Great. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do I see anybody aside from students wandering around?
You mostly just see students wandering around, but if you go inside, you do see like doors along the hall, and some of them are obviously classrooms and some of them are offices.
I guess I'll find an office that has somebody in it and just poke my head inside.
Can I help you?
Yes, we're here about the fire element.
Excuse me?
The fire elemental that was summoned recently.
Who are you?
We're trying to,
We're wranglers.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
We're wranglers for pests like this, large-scale pests.
All right.
We were called in to help.
By whom?
Well, I don't ask. They're a contractor, you know? Just doing our job.
Who hired you?
the university, right? I certainly hope so, otherwise we're not getting paid. I'll roll a bluff.
Okay, go ahead.
How do I do this? I don't remember. Oh, hey.
Well, why did they send you here? It's not here. It's left. It's wreaking havoc across the bubbles, as they're saying on the news. We haven't seen it. Nobody's seen it. We don't even know if it exists. And last I heard, the biggest piece of information we had was that it might be over in Asana Town.
Well, if you check the news, it was in Asana Town, and then it left in a big hurry, and, well, it's invisible, but it's right outside.
It's
I'm sorry, what?
Check the news.
or you could just look outside the bubble.
It's invisible. You do know that, right?
It's got passengers.
Yes, but it may have picked up 2 of the other Wranglers in our team. They're out in space, hence our concern.
I'm sorry, are you telling me that the fire elemental has picked up passengers?
In a way.
Hostages? We don't know.
She gets up from her desk and, follows you outside.
I'm going to point to the 2 dots up in the sky.
She looks up. I mean, that's very hard to see, but it does just look like there are 2 people up there.
And how would 2 people have gotten up there exactly, do you think?
She looks at you.
Hey, Fisk, can you hear us?
Can I hear them?
Yes.
Yeah, it's slamming the bubble trying to get in. Have you guys made any progress?
We're trying. Wait, it's trying to break through the bubble?
Yes,
And
it's slamming
save
on it and
what?
scratching it. It wants to get in.
This is even worse than we thought.
Do you know of any way to get
Yoinks!
inside the bubble from outside without having to go through the, and I'm, sort of pointing at the
She stares at you like you have 3 heads, possibly, and not in a good way. Do you mean the ports on the side of the bubble where the sun skimmers dock?
Yes, is there a different way in?
That is the way in.
How did it leave the first time? Did it ride a skimmer?
Is that out of character?
Nope, that's in character.
Oh, okay.
It did.
Let's see.
It did walk past me, right?
Yeah, it did. You literally everyone here knows exactly how it left the other bubble, but if you don't remember, then well, not enough
Well,
time has
I
passed
saw
for me
how
to
it left
realistically
the-
make you.
It left the, I guess did it leave the bubble, a bubble the same way it left the other bubble?
It left Asana Town through the port so that you would go through for sun skimmers.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said it passed right through it, so I was confused.
The ports are basically like an open hole on the side of the bubble that has an energy field around it protecting it that allows the skimmers to go in and out. And
Okay.
It went through that.
I thought you said it passed through like the bubble itself and that bubble was different. Okay, well then never mind. I retract that statement. I just didn't understand.
Okay. The ports are the only way to get in or out of any of the bubbles.
Fisk, try to see if you can get it to go to the port.
Fisk looks around to see if he can see the port from their vantage point.
You cannot. You are on top of the bubble.
Okay, I'll try. Fisk is going to he's going to point in the direction and say, Home is that way. Go that way. We'll get you home. And he's going to try and use body language while holding on with one paw and gesture to see if he can convince the elemental to head toward the port.
Okay, roll a diplomacy.
Oh Lord!
Be that elemental diplomat.
Hashtag Space Wranglers.
Home?
Space Wrangler.
Yeah. To get home, we have to go into the bubble. like the last one. We have to go that way. Home that way.
It can't really see where you're pointing because you're on its back and you're short armed.
Well, my paw's next to its head. I guess it would be like in the periphery, kind of.
Nice try.
Do you know how big something that's 20 feet tall is?
Larger than Fisk, which is approximately, what, 2 feet tall?
Yes.
But the bottom line is, the little rat's trying.
I mean, that's true.
Can
but-
I, like, turn upside down and point with my tail?
You could try that.
Aw.
Acrobatics?
Yeah. All right.
Home is that way. And I'm, like, gonna try and put my tail next to his face. Ah!
Okay, that's creative. I'll give it to you. Home, and it turns in the direction of your tail and starts climbing back down the bubble, which means you guys get to make another strength check. Because now you're facing the wrong direction and we'll start sliding over its shoulders.
Yeah, home. Go that way. Yes, go home.
Oh god.
Oh boy, Grits. Oh boy, Fisk.
Where are my nat 20s?
They're
Fisk, you
all
still have-
gone.
You still have the winning dice roll.
Might be a good time to use it.
How does that work?
It's a reroll. Basically,
okay.
it's advantage. Okay, Fisk, you stay on. The Grits, you are sliding. You're like, you were on his shoulder, like hanging on with the weight back here, and he turned like this, and you just went whoop.
Well, I'm upside down, right? Can I grab him because my tail's up next to the fire elemental's head and my paws are down?
Can I grab Fisk's tail? Because wouldn't he be...
Yeah, you can grab Fisk's tail.
I'm
I'm gonna need you to make a reflex save to grab Fisk's tail.
This is gonna be painful.
Yes, it will. Either for you or for me.
You grab onto Fisk's tail. You are now holding onto Fisk's tail, hanging over the fire elemental's shoulder. Fisk, you're hanging on to the shoulder,
Grits!
and Grits is holding onto your tail.
Grits, that really hurts! Ow!
Fisk, save Grits!
Ow, it's not meant for that! Can you climb up?
So I'm gonna try to climb up his tail.
Okay,
Fisk is like wincing.
it's gonna be an athletics check. No, you can't.
Grits!
You feel some scrabbling on your tail with his little goblin hands, but he doesn't actually make any progress.
Fisk is trying not to cry.
You feel something underneath your feet, Grits, and the fire elemental is pushing you back up onto its shoulder.
No, so I'm gonna get shoved back up. I can't see any of this, by the way, right? Only Fisk
Yeah.
can?
Yeah, only Fisk.
Yeah.
Fisk, you see that the fire elemental has paused and is basically like pushing Fisk like back up, or Grits back up onto his shoulder.
Thank you. Ow.
I'll scramble back up onto the shoulder.
Okay.
Or the back, or... I don't know. I'm disorientated
You're
now.
on some flat surface and you can try to grab hold again.
Grits!
I grab hold.
Grits, you need to hold on. I can't do that again.
Fisk, your tail hurts.
Yeah, I know.
It like really hurts.
Yes. Yes, it does. Fisk could have told you that.
Oh, he did. I just wanted to reiterate it. Okay. So it's a rocky ride, but the fire elemental heads in the direction indicated by Fisk's now limp tail.
They make medicine for that, right?
Yes. It's a common problem for older Ahsoki. Okay. When he gets to the port, he starts trying to investigate it. But he doesn't seem to be able to just go through this one the way he was able to go through the last one. Deoda and Terowin, you and the professor that you have located, who appears to be a half-elf.
Oh, so she's not going to like me.
She can't
Terowin,
see you. You got a full helmet on.
you must assume that anyone who meets you that isn't a drow probably isn't going to like you.
Fair.
That's
Although
rude.
elves do seem to be slightly more prejudiced.
Says the racist drow on our crew.
It's true.
Only towards goblins.
Wow.
And a little bit Ahsoki, admittedly.
Yeah.
Only towards small folks.
Yeah. There you go.
Damn!
Let it out. Let's get this out. We can talk about these issues,
How do you
Terowin.
feel about gnomes?
Oh, not gnomes.
They're all right.
I mean, they're like small elves.
Eh.
What? I think a half-elf would be a small elf.
No, but gnomes are like small elves.
No, gnomes are like gnomes. They're like skinny
Oh.
goblins.
Anyway. Whatever it is, Terowin probably is racist.
I'm gonna if I see them sliding towards the
Yes, you
the
do.
thing, I'm just gonna walk towards.
Okay. Data, you also see that they start making progress towards the port.
Can you find a way to get us in? It sounds a little like Fisk is choking back tears.
Oh gosh, they could be in real trouble up there. I think they're dying.
Fine.
We'd better hurry.
I think they got it. I think they know. Look, they're headed towards the portal.
Well, it's probably going to have some trouble getting in. We've got a lot of protective spells on that thing.
Well, we have to take them down. What do we do? What's going to happen if they try to get through the portal with a spell?
Can they do magic? Techno or solar?
Neither. I can. I'm a Solarian.
Well, let's head that direction and see what we can do.
How did it get out through all these protective spells?
Well, they weren't in place before it started going around destroying everything. We actually hadn't had a fire elemental loose on the grounds before.
I see. I suppose that makes some sense.
Students had been summoning them in dares, stupid, petty things, and so far the administration had just seen fit to ignore it. No one was getting hurt, and it amused them, and it frankly was a good way to practice their skills, but this one just got totally out of hand. So now it's all been shut down, and we've put protective spells in place all over the campus, all over the ports exiting the bubble. We've done everything we can to make sure something else like this doesn't happen. We also didn't think it was going to just come back here. Like,
I believe
literally.
I believe my colleague was saying that it was wanting to go home.
You spoke to it. It's
Not-
capable of speech.
I didn't speak to it, but my colleague did, the one who's currently being towed around by the thing. I'm sure he'd be happy to give you more information if we can just rescue him.
Right, of course. And she starts heading towards the port.
Thank you, Data. Thank you.
Let's stay on target!
Somebody actually cares.
Somebody cares.
They're like, science? Data?
Basically.
Fascinating. We'll need to run some calibrations.
God damn it.
I'll take off towards the portal.
Okay.
Cha.
So you guys make it there, and you see Grits and Fisk hanging on to what appears to be nothing outside of the portal. Fisk and Grits, well, you guys can both hear this, and you have been able to hear it when it says like home and things, but only Fisk can see what it's doing. Fisk, you can see that it's circled the port a couple of times now, and it's getting agitated. And it says home. This no home.
So
Home.
I could hear it say home.
It's okay. They're gonna come try to let us in. Would that be bluff or diplomacy?
That's gonna be a bluff because you don't really know. It seems confused. It turns and looks like it's gonna start trying to climb back up the bubble.
No, just wait. Just wait. They're gonna let us in. It's okay. Shh.
Can't we send a skimmer out there for them?
I mean, the spells are up specifically to prevent fire elementals entering and exiting the bubble. So even if we sent a skimmer out, it wouldn't be able to bring the fire elemental in.
It would be able to bring them in, and I'm pointing at Fisk and Grits.
Oh. Well, I suppose if they were to get off of the creature and onto the skimmer safely, then yeah. Look, just let me feel out the spells here and see if I can get them down. And she starts investigating the rim of the port.
Over the thinky rock, the thinky talkie rocks, the rocky talkies.
Yes.
Guys, it's really getting confused and agitated. I thought it was gonna be able to come back in like it left the other bubble, but it's not. We need some kind of help. There's nothing I can do.
Well, apparently they have some kind of protective spells against fire elementals.
What? Then how did it get out?
They weren't there before.
Okay, well, can they turn them off? There's gotta be like a switch, right?
We're trying.
It takes a couple of minutes, but the half-elf starts muttering something under her breath, and you see her hands start to glow, and the rim of the port start to glow as well. And she lowers the protective spells around the port, and you can see the glow like receding down as the port opens.
Slick.
The elemental that has been like kind of pressing against this invisible force kind of like falls a little bit through the port and thuds and lands heavily inside of the bubble.
See, I told you they were gonna help us. We're gonna get you home. It's okay.
The half-elf approaches you, Fisk, which you're still on top of the elemental, but the elemental is like flat out on its stomach right now on the
So
ground.
I'm only like 5 feet in the air.
Did we just
Basically.
like thud on top of the elemental?
Yes.
Glad
Okay.
it fell the right way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. See, I don't hate you guys.
That's one of those moments where in a traditional setting for a tabletop game, the DM just would have been rolling like 15, 20 dice, wincing once or twice.
I mean, you have no idea how many dice I've rolled.
Like I said, in a traditional.
So anyway, excuse me, are you the one that can speak to the elemental?
What do you mean, the one?
They said one of you guys spoke to the elemental.
Well, yeah, it just tells us it wants to get home. How do we get it home? Are you here to help us?
Yes, but what kind of speech is it capable of? Like, at what level of intelligence is it operating?
Very painful, like a child missing its family. Can we get it home?
Right. Well, maybe we could study it first.
Fisk is
You
gonna
know.
reach for his pistol.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intimidate check.
I really think we ought to get it home.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We had no idea that this thing was capable of intelligent speech. We need to try and study it.
I'm really curious what it's gonna say as it wipes you out.
I feel like you could probably. I can hear this, right?
Yes.
I feel like you could probably re-summon another one in a much safer environment if you really need to. But this one is injured. It could be dying.
Fine. Just All right. We'll go back to the summoning circle, but I'm going to have to get someone else to help with the spells there. They've put up a lot to try and prevent students from summoning any more elementals. We aren't going to be able to just open a plane.
Well, go do that, and you'll be lucky enough to be one of the few people who got to be involved in this. At least that's something. You could study it after the fact, maybe.
I'd be happy to help in any way I can. I'm not experienced with this, but I am a Solarian.
I suppose you can come if you want. And she starts heading towards the university. The fire elemental has, at this point, kind of gotten back up to its feet. And for now, you guys are still on its back, but you could probably get off now if you wanted. Because, you're in a bubble.
We're also 20 feet in the air.
That's true.
I'm gonna stay with it. I feel like I have a better chance of, comforting it if I'm with it. If it's like a child, I don't want it to feel abandoned.
Okay. Oh, you bonded with it.
Also, Fisk's tail hurts, and he has to use that for balance, so,
Well, once the elemental rights itself, it says home very emphatically and just starts charging towards the university. It overtakes the half-elf very easily, and it's just running flat out.
Yeah, see, that's probably the other good thing about staying on it. People can see where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay. We go flying toward the university, very emphatically.
You do.
I'm gonna try to follow them.
You also get to feel the very painful stinging shock as it slams into another protective barrier and gets thrown backwards. So I'm going to need strength checks again.
Oh.
You both go flying backwards off the elemental, and it topples over backwards.
Is it do like a slow tumble? Can I try to roll out of the way?
It's not really a slow tumble, but it doesn't land on top of you because you guys were on its shoulders.
Ah,
Your
okay.
head lands in between. It starts basically screaming again, which was that noise you heard previously, Fisk.
Fisk is gonna try to talk it down again. Wait! You know we're trying to get you home. Think about how close we've gotten. You have to trust us. They're gonna help us. Just wait a little bit longer and you're going to be home. We're friends, right? You remember, friend?
Home.
We're really close. Just wait. There's probably something blocking us. They're gonna take it down. They were talking about getting some people to help get you home. You trust us, right, friend?
Grits, you realize, not that Grits is great at perceiving things, but you do realize that you can no longer hear the elemental. When you were hanging on to it, you were able to hear when it said things. Now you hear Fisk talking to it, but you don't hear anything. You don't hear any of the noises it was making previously. You don't hear it saying home or anything.
And I still do because of the helmet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
As I'm following the elemental, if I overtake the half elf, I'm just gonna kind of grab her arm and whisk her towards it.
Okay. You guys see well, you don't see the elemental. You see what was just thin air, light up bright orange as some massive thing slams into it, and you see Fisk and Grits go flying backwards. And at this point, you're close enough to hear Fisk trying to calm the elemental again.
And Fisk is, in addition, he's trying to use very calming body language. He's got his paws outstretched, and it's like somebody trying to he's like a lion tamer. Yes, Fisk is a valiant lion tamer.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
this is awesome.
It's like the lion and the mouse. Are you gonna pull out his thorn?
Is it so simple?
I'm gonna need you to roll a diplomacy.
Oh, I already used the reroll.
It keeps whining and crying and screaming and saying home.
I'm gonna slowly step forward
Okay.
and try again. We're gonna have you home soon. Friend, it's okay. I'm trying to help you. We're gonna get you home.
The half elf walks up to you and her face looks a little white. Like she kind of grasps how big this thing is now that she's seen the size of that orange glow left from its impact. And she leans down next to you and says, "Can you see it?"
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How?
Fisk is still looking at the elemental, but he takes one of his currently outstretched paws and points to the thing and he says, "Goofy looking thing on my head."
Can I borrow that?
No. You can borrow it after we get it home.
Look, I just want to see what I'm dealing with here. I'll give it right back.
Maybe
I'm
we
not
should.
armed.
Err. Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Can somebody remind me what the equivalent of insight is?
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay. She seems genuine. She seems like she's kind of a little shaken, and she does really just want to see what she's dealing with.
Uh. You're gonna give it back. Because it really only seems to trust me right now. And even then, not a lot.
Fit right back.
And you're not gonna run when you see it. It's really big.
All right, just let me see.
Fisk starts to take it off, but kind of like tries to subtly beckon to Terowin in the like, keep an eye on this kind of way. And Fisk will remove the helmet and pass it, but in doing this, he's gonna stay kind of facing the fire elemental.
Okay.
With the paws out and stuff.
So you stop being able to hear it once the helmet is removed.
Yep.
The half-elf straightens up and puts the helmet on her head for about the span of like 2 seconds, and then she takes it off and hands it back to you. And she looks like white as a ghost.
Told ya.
Right.
Fisk is
Aw.
gonna put it back on.
Okay. I'll be right back. And she kind of dashes off towards one of the buildings.
Hey, buddy. You saw she left. She's going to get people to help you go home. Remember? We're gonna get you home. I'm really bad at this.
Roll another diploma.
Maybe we could say, like, I don't know, it's computers instead.
It is definitely not computers. There you go. As you continue speaking to the elemental in very soothing tones and trying to calm it down, it gradually stops crying and screaming. And now it kind of whimpers occasionally, and it says home, but it seems to have calmed down.
Do you want to sit down with me again while we wait? We can sit and wait. It's okay.
It's still like laying on its back where it landed.
Okay, Fisk is gonna go kind of sit near it, and he's gonna, tuck his tail and sit cross-legged next to it.
Okay. It seems to help.
I do that.
About 5 minutes later, the half-elf lady comes running back out of the building she disappeared into, and she's trailed by about 10 more individuals, all definitely adults and not students. all looking very concerned. And they head over to where you guys are. Yeah?
I was going to say, can I sense motive them to see if it looks like they have hostile intent toward this creature?
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Sure.
are they armed?
Well, Winston, you're a little... Fisk is very focused on calming down the elemental right.
Oh! Wow, that was quite the opposite.
Wow.
Taryn, the overwhelming sense that you get is concern. They are generally very concerned.
What a waste.
Dun, dun,
Well,
dun,
not like maliciously.
No,
They're like,
that was a waste of a natural 20.
oh yes, absolutely. But you're pretty confident that they don't mean anything harmful. They're concerned.
Okay, I'm gonna just get out of their way then.
Okay, so about 5 of them split off and start roughly where you would have seen that wall of force. They are like kind of down on their knees, working along the ground, muttering things. The half-elf comes forward with a contemplative. The contemplative... have any of you guys seen a contemplative, or would any of your
Yes,
characters
I
have...
love them.
Well, would any of your characters have encountered a contemplative?
If they're not common on,
Maybe?
I don't know what that is, so
if they're not common, then probably not. But I may have studied
Oh.
enough about them to know they are.
Oh, yeah, I don't think
Here.
I would have seen one. I thought about playing one, but I don't think I've seen one. No.
Hold on, I'll roll. Let me roll.
So this is a contemplative for anyone that doesn't know.
Put that
I
on
also thought about
put that
playing
on
one.
stream real quick. The crown is a nice touch.
I love it. God, I love those guys. Can I roll like a
Yeah, could I roll like what was it? Like a culture check?
culture? Yeah, to see if I would know one.
Yeah. Go for it. Anybody that wants to.
Oh my god! What a
Dana,
waste.
you have seen many contemplatives in your
What
time.
the heck?
You know what? Ignore my roll, because I don't think Fisk would have had a reason to.
No, I'm gonna take that as you know what they are.
Okay. Alright, that works. That would
just
make
see a
sense
big brain.
with the travel.
Tarowin, you Grits, can you go ahead and roll a culture?
Apparently,
Hey.
I'm the only one.
For some reason, Grits even knows what a contemplative is. I don't know why or how, but he does. I'll say probably that your ship robbed a ship that had contemplatives on it at some point. Piracy of all races equally. Equal opportunity piracy, basically.
How egalitarian?
Exactly.
Probably eaten one.
Yeah, well, you either ate one or you licked one for sure.
That pulsing pink brain. You're like, ah.
Taryn, you have
Okay,
no
that was
fucking
much.
clue. You see a massive brain floating towards you with a tiny body like suspended underneath of it, and it's fucking weird.
You know what? I've seen a lot of weird shit today. I'm just gonna look at the brain.
Except
Okay.
for- At least you can see it.
That's true.
That's true.
I'll submit that.
It's Fisk in the brain.
It's Pinky and the brain.
God damn it.
What are we going to do today, Pinky? Brain? Whatever.
Between this and the fire elemental and the ghost, I think I'm just losing my mind.
The same thing we do every night, Fisk. Try to send home the elemental.
Okay. I need everyone to roll.
I liked your
a-
plosive on elemental.
I'd like everyone to roll an intelligence check to remember a vital piece of information. I say vital, probably not vital right now. The elemental's probably a lot more vital. Lovely natural 20s, Terowin.
On fire today.
Natural 20s.
I could use these more in combat, but sure,
Why
I'll
am
take
I
it.
rolling so well too?
Everybody's rolling pretty well based on our average. Remember the last game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
you
our last
guys-
few games?
Yeah.
You guys all remember earlier when you guys literally couldn't hold on to a fire elemental to actually save your life? Just saying. Okay.
Oh, but
Well-
this consequential piece of information.
Does this have
Yep.
to do with the small potted plant?
No, it does not have to do with the small potted plant.
She's
However,
on the ship. The potted plant is on the ship.
the four of you do remember, and Terowin, this didn't make much sense to you because you didn't know what the word really meant. But the four of you remember that the professor that your benefactor mentioned you should take the helmet to was a contemplative.
Ah.
I actually just recall that. I
Still
think you
means
did
nothing
tell
to me,
us that.
Terwin apparently doesn't know what a contemplative is.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything to you.
She was just like, I guess he's really thoughtful, like definitely professorial. Anyway.
Yes, the contemplative professor and Terwin's like, what do you want me to go look for the thinking man?
It's like, it's just, I guess he really like uses his brain.
So for anyone that isn't Terwin, because I guess that's a wasted natural 20.
2 in a row.
For everyone else, you guys, it clicks. Here's a contemplative. And Remiel did say that if possible, you should return the helmet to Solar University and drop it off with the contemplative professor. And the name in the dossier that you were given was X249BT.
To be totally honest, I think I remember hearing IRL about contemplative professor. I thought that was just like a moniker. Like he liked to sit and contemplate.
Well,
Don't think I realized it was his race.
I pronounce it contemplative, so not the same thing, I'm afraid.
Quite.
Alrighty.
What?
So X249BT is the name of the contemplative professor you're supposed to give the helmet to. So anyway, so there's a contemplative, and he's floating over towards you with the half elf. Hello, you're the Wranglers? He has a very like forced voice. It sounds like he doesn't really use his voice very.
I will answer that because I'm the one who said it. Yes, we're all the Wranglers, the large pest Wranglers.
Wait,
as I said.
We're what? Fisk
Yeah,
looks at you confused.
we were hired by the university, I believe.
We're
Well,
Wranglers.
Well, Remiel sent us. What do you mean the university?
Is that not the same person?
Huh? Fisk looks
We're-
genuinely confused.
The contemplative says, we don't have any record of hiring you. However, we are grateful that you have brought this creature back to us. I understand it is large and upset, and we are going to try to lower the barrier as quickly as possible. Do you have a reliable means of communicating with this creature?
Pseudo reliable? I mean, we can kind of give it instructions, like you're giving instructions to a child, but we can talk to it.
All right. We are going to lower the barriers and try to guide it towards the summoning circles. Once there, we should be able to generate a portal back to the fire plane.
Okay. Let me know when you want it to move, and I'll try.
We have our best workers trying to lower the field as we speak. I am X249BT. What is your designation?
Oh, you were the one we're supposed to bring the helmet to.
What?
I'm-
I can't wear a helmet.
No, no, no.
You're-
Yeah, we were definitely told you would want to study it. It's the thing that lets us this thing. It lets us see the well, and I guess it's probably the reason I can talk to the elemental too. But yeah, we were told you might want it.
You're the
You
contemplative
have-
professor, aren't you?
The brain kind of turns to you, and it doesn't have a facial expression, but if it did, the facial expression would be like,
Seriously, dude.
duh.
Seriously.
Yes, I am.
We were told you might have a use excuse me, a use for this helmet that my friend is not in a fashionable way, but more of a to study.
The half elf, upon hearing this, like looks delighted. You're going to donate it to the university so that we can study it?
on the condition that we help get this child, fire elemental, home.
Successfully.
Yes, yes, we're working on that. But you're going to leave the helmet with us?
That was the idea with um this one specifically, and I'm like pointing directly at the
Directly at what?
brain.
That's fine. We work in the same department. Another professor hurries over to them from the group that had split off to start lowering the barriers. And she turns back and says, "It looks like the barriers are lowered, so if you could try to guide it to follow us, we'll start heading towards the summoning circle." And we are going to take our break there.
Ooh.
A break?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, at 8:30 on the dot.
Wow. So punctual.
Is
Yeah,
there
we're-
something wrong with the breaks?
Yeah, they're 74 seconds too late every time.
Also, Tyler doesn't
breaks
have any.
again. God,
Okay, somebody got it.
give me a second.
It took
you
Winston
72.
a second, too.
I'm just a little slow tonight.
This
It
is
didn't
72
take me any
seconds.
seconds. I knew exactly what you meant.
this is our union mandated break.
And before I have to mute everybody.
Union mandated breaks for your trial.
Ah.
We'll be back, guys. We took a 5-minute bio break. We'll be back.
5 or 8 or 20.
5. 5.
See everybody soon.
Hi, welcome back. We're done bioing. It's time for more Starfinder. But first, I want to say hi to new viewers. Thanks for coming by and checking us out. We are excited to have you join us as we play Starfinder and do fun things in space. So, you guys are headed to the summoning circles at the Solar University. You're following a group of professors, and you notice at this point that you have attracted the attention of pretty much everyone on campus.
Woo!
There's a
Makes sense.
huge crowd of students gathered around watching. And Fisk, how would you like to convince the elemental to follow the professors?
Fisk is going to get next to the elemental, and he's going to level with it because it's still lying down. So he's going to look up to it, and he's going to say, "Are you ready to go home? I think they're almost ready to send you home. Do you understand?
Home?
We need to go. And Fisk points. We need to go to that circle, and they're going to send you home. It's a door.
Home.
Door to home. Can you go this way?"
It tries to sit up, and you can see it is more wounded now than it was before. That slam into the magical barrier and then landing on the ground. It's roughed it up a little more. It's leaking more ichor. It's definitely hurting, and it whimpers as it tries to pull itself up to its feet.
This makes me sad. Fisk is going to slowly start walking toward the circle, and he's going to kind of beckon and say, "Home! Come, we're going to send you home."
Home? Home? Mother?
Mother will be there. We're going to send you home. Come. They're going to open a door. Door?
It follows after you very slowly, limping.
Okay, then Fisk will continue to move slowly, kind of keeping eye contact with it, beckoning.
Home.
Home, yes. Send you home, friend. Home.
Home. It follows after you. The other professors have gone ahead and they've already started working. Data, you're trying to like watch what they're doing, and this is like so far beyond anything you've ever seen a Solarian do. You've heard about the research that they've been doing at Solar University in terms of portals and summonings and working with different planes. But you haven't actually gotten to see it firsthand, and it's kind of like watching an artist at work, the way they are working with their solar magic, motes flying around and orange glows as they start working on creating a portal.
Can I like learn anything from this?
Let's see, what would you roll? Go ahead and roll 3 mysticism checks for me over the course of their working, and you could just roll all 3 of them. Based on the total, I will decide if you can glean anything.
All right. All right, I'll just roll them as separate rolls because I don't know how.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not bad.
No, not bad. I'm going to give you a +1 miscellaneous bonus to your mysticism for future checks.
Aw,
Nice.
appreciate. Seems fitting. Thank you. Ow.
Okay. So, the contemplative floats over to you, Fisk, and it says, "We are in the process of opening a portal to the plane of fire.
Okay.
In the interest of trying to open this portal as close to where this fire elemental belongs as possible, can you possibly point out to us or obtain for us some kind of a sample?
This is out of character because I didn't understand. What was the last word? Some kind of a
Sample.
sample of the elemental?
Yes.
Do I have any on me from clinging onto its back?
You are, in fact, kind of covered in ichor.
A sample. Fisk thinks for a second. He goes, "Oh!" And he sticks his hand like into his fur, picks up a glob, which I assume is invisible, and hands out to them.
The contemplative looks at you. Not that you can really tell where it's looking, but it seems confused. I assume it's not visible in this light spectrum?
Yeah, I assume you're right. I can see it. It's kind of dripping through my paw.
He gestures at the half-elf, and she comes over and puts her hand out.
Fisk kind of does, like, the thing you would do if you had something gloppy stuck. He kind of goes, and kind of like swats it into her hand.
Okay. She looks a little confused at you and then feels it as it hits her hand. Oh, that's quite hot.
Yeah,
How can you just touch that?
I don't know.
Oh, this is weird. She scurries off with it and hands it to a different professor who also has a similar reaction. You can't hear them; they're far enough away, but you see like a and like some shock as they accept the very hot ichor. And a few minutes later, you see a pinprick-sized orange glow floating in the middle of the air, and it starts to widen, gradually getting bigger and bigger as all 10 at this point of the professors are working together to open a stable portal to the elemental plane of fire.
You're gonna go home.
Home! Home! It says. It's very... You're not sure what excitement should really look like on this thing, but you think it's exciting.
We're sending you home.
Okay. As the portal begins to open to its widest point, I need to make a...
Gulp.
It's widening.
Okay. And another. Okay. The portal is widening, and you see something coming through it from the other side. And it's kind of hard for you to tell what it is, Fisk. Actually, all of you can see this at this point. It's very much on fire, and it's very large. And after a couple of seconds, this basically giant boulder of flame, roughly the size of the fire elemental, unfolds, and it looks like a very big hand.
Oh.
And you hear, "Mama!" Well, Fisk hears.
Oh.
And it limps over as fast as it can to the hand and crawls into it and curls up. And the hand starts to slowly withdraw through the portal. And as it does, the elemental picks its head up and looks at you, Fisk, and says, "Friend."
Bye, friend. Say hi to Mama.
Friend, no hurt.
Bye.
Home.
Oh, it was just a baby.
And as the hand retreats, the portal starts to shrink in size until it finally closes. You guys successfully returned it.
Yay!
Fisk
did it.
takes off the helmet.
Finally.
Finally. I can
Is your-
finally breathe.
Is your hair all matted and stuck to your head?
Yeah, he has like the
Yeah.
worst helmet hair. And because he's an Ahsoki and has fur like all over, it's just like his entire head is helmet hair.
Data was like
True.
so taken by how like sweet like she imagined this whole thing was because she didn't see it exactly. But she's like jumps up in the air. She's like, "We did it!" Which is not something you'd think a pest wrangler would say.
We did it.
Who's nearest to her right now?
Your other companions. The professors are all in a semicircle, like they are not any longer because they've closed the portal, but they were working together to hold the portal open long enough for the elemental to get through it.
Probably Terran.
Data would hug Terowin.
Terran seems a bit taken aback at first, but she, like slowly hugs back.
We did it! We did it!
Taryn is like, "What is this affectionate human touch? What?
But not human. But yeah,
Humanoid.
humanoid.
Affectionate humanoid compassion?"
It's like a double
and
hug
affection?
because you got a four-armed hug.
Aw. Fisk is going to walk over to the contemplative professor with the helmet.
Yes.
It looks like you got it home.
Well, if you say so, we obviously couldn't see,
Oh.
but it does appear. We saw the arm come through, but we didn't see anything else.
But you didn't hear either?
No.
Oh, well, it kind of, I mean, I guess it was happy. It said mother, and it jumped into the palm and crawled up. So I think it found its mom. Also, its mom must be really, really big.
That must be a full-grown, ancient fire elemental.
So, no more students summoning these things as a gag? Because if that was a baby, what would have happened with a big one?
Well, most of what they were summoning was harmless. Ifrit, for example, are another type of fire elemental, and they are no bigger than a standard human. It varies from one elemental to another, but yes, we have already put safeguards in place to try and prevent this sort of thing from happening again.
Okay, because size aside, you were kind of, I mean, the students were kind of ripping these things out of their homes. It's clear that, one way or another, they do feel things. And, yeah. I guess we won't need this anymore. And Fisk presents the helmet.
Thank you for this donation to science and research.
Uh-huh. Science and research might want to wipe it out first. It was pretty hot in there.
We'll keep that in mind. And it does seem as though you are correct. and they have more intelligence than we first thought. We will keep that in mind as we begin further research.
Just consider it Fisk's first great contribution to science and research. Right.
Taryn kind of smirks when the contemplative says, "We'll keep that in mind."
Oh my god. He's tired of racist, bigoted comments, Tara.
Wow.
She didn't say anything. She just smirked.
The contemplative accepts the helmet and floats back over towards the other professors, who all immediately start showing way more excitement over it than the contemplative did. And they're all like clamoring to be the first to get a grant of time to work with it.
Fisk is going to return to his compatriots, his other fellow very large pest wranglers.
That was excellent work, Fisk.
I don't think I'd be cut out to be a parent.
Do you
I don't
think
know.
we should tell the professor that we kind of killed people to get that helmet?
I could think of many other things we could tell the professor that would be much more relevant than that. I mean, we didn't kill to get the helmet, we killed to defend ourselves and not die. You know, it's kind of a tangential situation. I think they could just be happy with the helmet.
All right, I suppose that's true. There's no reason for anyone to suspect that what happened in the bazaar is related to this helmet, right?
If they do, they'll just point the authorities to some pest wranglers.
Some very large pest wranglers. That was a size joke. Get it? Get it, Terraman?
Well, some of us are larger than others.
Speaking of, I suppose we should get back to the ship and let Ergon know that we've been successful.
Speaking of,
That's
Fisk, your tail still hurts.
I know.
Just reminding you.
Yeah, it's constantly on his mind, thank you. You ever had, like, your finger pulled out of its socket till it pops?
yeah, one time.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of got that, like, pain around the joint that will exist for quite some time. Because tails aren't meant to be pulled on like that.
No, they are not.
Anyhow.
Fisk saves grids.
Sure. Do you want to go check on your, what's it called? The thing.
Grids
Thimble!
needs to go find Thimble.
Yeah, where is Thimble? Where's Ergon?
They're in the ship, as far as I know.
Oh. They didn't want to help, or? I mean, I guess Thimble couldn't really help, but... Oh, Ergon must have... Okay, yeah, why don't we go back to the ship, like you suggested already?
Thimble seemed concerned. I think Ergon was trying to comfort him. I'm not sure.
What? The flying robot drone? Is today the day where we just learned that everything has feelings and we've been doing everything wrong in this universe the whole time?
Well, Grits, you already know that Thimble is...
He's semi-sentient.
Wow.
And you know he
Wow.
has an attachment to you. So you're like not at all surprised by this, because you know he basically behaves like a sad dog when you're gone. Wow.
Thimble needs Grits. Grits needs Thimble.
Feels.
I'm going to start heading back towards the port.
All right. As you guys start heading away from the summoning circle, you see like flocks of students standing around, like whispering to each other furiously and pointing at you all and staring.
I'm going to activate my cloaking field.
Since you do this in the middle of broad fucking daylight, all this does is generate more whispers. Like the whispers go from like
I don't know.
They're like,
I don't know if you guys are aware, but we can hear you. We're standing right here.
a few people have the decency to look ashamed and turn around and start walking away, but the rest of them just like keep talking amongst themselves and staring at you guys and pointing.
And this is why everybody hates college anyway. Jerks.
Don't worry about it. You guys have the luxury of not looking out of the ordinary. Some people are used to being stared at. And I just like march on ahead.
Fisk is gonna shrug and follow after her.
All right. It takes you a little bit to make it back to the ship. But you do.
We don't get
Nothing
jumped on the way.
particularly eventful happens. No, you don't get jumped on the way. It's amazing.
No cultists.
There aren't cultists down every alley. What are you, paranoid?
Maybe,
I am now.
We bit, yeah.
You make it back to the ship, and as you enter, you can hear in the galley area. You hear Ergon. No, it's going to be fine. He'll be back soon. And you also hear the noise of a small mechanical object possibly flinging itself against a door or wall repeatedly. Are you gonna go in that?
What does it sound like?
It sounds like
I was kind of expecting something a little cuter, like... Yeah, you know what? That makes sense, sure.
I'm gonna go invest.
have a vocal modulator. It can't whimper.
Well, neither did R2-D2.
Oh my god!
I'm going to
It's
go
a
invest.
stealth drone. It doesn't have the ability to make bip boop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thimble doesn't make noises.
so are you guys going to the kitchen? Grith?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go find Thimble.
I'll trail behind.
So as you guys enter the kitchen, you realize that maybe Ergon is not as much of a dad as you thought he was, because the kitchen is in chaos.
my gosh.
Thimble, it appears, has tried to climb every available surface, knocked almost everything possible onto the floor. Thimble doesn't have a mouth, but you think something chewed on the legs of the chairs. You're not sure how he managed it. Maybe he just like
Ergon!
legs all over it, but like he's basically torn the place apart. And Ergon is like, at this point, he's got like a torn, like his shirt is torn, and his pants have little like rips in them, and there's an oil stain down his side, and he's just kind of sitting defeated looking in the middle of the kitchen, trying to calm Thimble down, completely unsuccessfully. And as soon as Grits enters the room, Thimble flings himself across the room and into Grits' arms.
Oh god, what you do with Thimble? And then I just like push a button on Thimble's head and he goes to sleep.
That would
Upon
Ergon looks at you, just like stares at you for like a solid minute, and then gets up and leaves the room.
Oh, well, that would have been helpful.
He doesn't say anything. He just stares and then gets up and leaves, and you hear him go upstairs to the upper floor.
I was gonna say, as soon as, like, upon walking into the kitchen and seeing this, I was just gonna turn around and like go up to the cockpit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah. Fist does the same about 3 seconds later.
Data, you're standing in the kitchen alone with Grits and Thimble,
And a mess.
and a mess. And Thimble has been turned off.
Thimble's he goes to sleep. He doesn't get turned off.
Thimble is asleep, I'm sorry.
I look over to Grits. I'm assuming you're not the type to clean this up.
Grits didn't do it. Thimble did it. Thimble clean?
No, I don't think that would work out very well, but it is your machine.
Okay. Then I pick up Thimble and just walk out the room.
You're standing in the middle of a completely trashed kitchen by
Sorry.
yourself.
Kate, did you just forego an opportunity to have Thimble converted into a sweeper bot?
I guess I did.
Sweeperbot Thimble.
Just saying, there
I
was a
go
chance
over-
there.
I go over to like a countertop and look around for like some gloves or something.
There's oil all over everything. Oil.
Are there any gloves?
You do find a pair of gloves in one
Okay.
of the drawers.
I pull out the gloves. Two armed. Why is that always the assumption? So I put on the two gloves. And I roll up my sleeves. Well, it's not like I haven't cleaned up grease before, and I'll start cleaning up the kitchen. Because I'm nice like that.
Yep. The only responsible person in here.
I have to do something responsible. All my other characters are terrible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You racist.
I think she meant Dr. Kane.
I did. I
Pretty-
meant all
pretty
my other
sure-
characters.
Pretty sure she, something to do with the, Reaver creating mad scientist.
I thought we were just talking about the characters here on this ship right now that includes a racist.
Goram.
Should
Really
we call
want-
it speciesist? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, whatever it is.
You're really not going to drop this whole racism thing, are you?
I mean...
Oh, you think we should? You think racism isn't a big deal? We have enough issues in this universe.
I'm going to go up and call Remiel.
Okay.
that's probably a good
Oh
idea.
yeah, one of your kind. Sure.
Oh, that's racist. Not all elves are the same.
Yeah. Well, Fisk is following you.
What, do
anyway.
we all look the same to you?
Fisk is following the racist up to the cockpit.
Okay. So you guys get up to the cockpit and you're attempting to call Remiel?
Sure, yeah, send him a wave.
Okay. It is not answered neither by Remiel nor his assistant.
What time is it?
It's middle of the afternoon.
They're probably just out at lunch.
Well, there was kind of the fact that he, hurriedly disconnected last time. You don't think he's in trouble, do you?
No, it's nothing more about.
Oh.
Sorry, that was
okay.
that is a good point. This is somewhat worrying. Can we leave a message?
Yeah, you can leave a message.
You have reached the voicemail box of Remiel. To leave a message, just press 1.
Nope. You can't leave a message the way you would leave a voicemail. You can send a contained recorded wave to his terminal that he would be able to access when he returned, as opposed to a live wave.
I'll do that. I'll just tell him that we've done the thing and we gave the helmet to the brain guy and we're worried about you. Call us back as soon as you can. Okay, bye. But more eloquently.
Okay.
No, I like
Those
it
are
that
the-
way.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Those are the general points.
All right. Okie dokie. You do that. That happens. What else do you want to do?
After that, I'm going to go sit in the dark.
Okay. Fisk, what about you?
What about that plant? Can I? It's not, again, crossing over my systems. Can I make some equivalent of a recall check to try and remember what we were supposed to do with this plant? Fisk remembers that there's something relevant about a small potted plant.
Yeah, okay. Make a wisdom check. You remember you're supposed to deliver the small potted plant to someone here in the Burning Archipelago.
Got it.
In fact, you even remember that they are in Verdion.
Inverdion, huh?
I mean, it makes sense. It's literally like the garden bubble. You
Makes
have a
sense.
plan.
Thanks for the sub, B Morg.
Thank you.
So Terran, Fisk is going to.
Oh, I would guess that B Morg is probably my coworker. Hi.
Well, that doesn't make us not want to thank for the sub.
Hi, new coworker. Thanks for making a nice place to work for Sarah. She deserves it.
Shameless plug.
Like, he asked me if I streamed, and I told him about the stream.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Still, it's pretty cool.
So that is what you remember.
So remind me, we are docked. So we left the university. We are now back in Dawnshore.
Yeah, you're in Dawnshore in the Dawnshore spaceport.
Am I?
I don't remember the plan.
You know what?
Sleep, Taro, and
Fisk is going to ignore the plant for now. He's going to go to the med bay and see if there's any salve he can put on his tail because it aches, and that's a little more important in his mind than going to some garden bubble.
okay, that's fair enough. What you actually the first thing you find that would probably be useful is a cold pack that is magically air activated in much the same way that we currently have heat packs that are air activated.
He's going
So
to activate it and sit on it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You might want to take an emergency shower too to get some of that ichor off yourself.
Do I feel it?
The ichor?
Yeah.
I mean, you have goop all over yourself.
No, I mean, like, do I physically feel it? Because the helmet's gone. I can't see it.
Yeah, you definitely still feel it.
Hmm.
You have goop all over yourself. It's just now invisible goop.
So Fisk would likely sit on the cold pack for a few minutes, then as the pain subsides become aware of that, and probably wander away to shower. He's going to do this and then, eventually wait for Terowin to be present again.
Okay. Grits, what are you up to?
So I went back to my room with Thimble and a huff because Ergon was playing with my drone. And I'm also covered in the ichor, but I'm not going to shower. I'm going to more lick it off. I know I can't see it, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
And can I smell it too?
It doesn't really have a super strong smell. It's kind of like God, I don't know how I would describe it. It smells like very pure fire, so not like if you had wood on fire where you would really smell the burning, or like charcoal or something like that. I guess maybe closer to what you smell when you flick a lighter open and it's just a gas-based flame. It kind of smells like that, very faintly.
Yeah, I don't think goblins shower. Does it burn when I try to eat it?
It's very hot.
I'm gonna eat it anyway.
Okay. It doesn't taste particularly good.
Maybe not to you, but maybe to a goblin.
I mean, to grits, it doesn't taste particularly
okay.
good.
All right, I'm just gonna try to wipe it off the best I can.
Okay. But I mean, you did get like a whole globbing mouthful before you came to the decision to wipe it off. You managed to, kind of clean yourself. You're a goblin. You don't have a great concept of what clean means, but you try.
Plus, I'm wearing a spacesuit, so it's not like it's on my skin.
That's true. Which means you give like even less concern to how clean you are. Data, after you finish cleaning up the kitchen, what do you do?
I guess I thought it would take me longer than that.
I mean, it's been about 15 minutes.
But TBH, the arms help.
You do have 4 arms.
Very experienced in cleaning kitchens.
It's true. Like, you have the experience of a line cook and 4 arms. So, yeah, I cut a lot of time off of the kitchen cleaning for that.
Huh. Cool. I didn't really have any plans. I guess I guess I would want to see what Ramiel said, but Ramiel or whatever, but I didn't go there first. So let's see. I would probably go to see if anyone's in the bridge.
15 minutes is probably about when Fisk has disappeared for a shower.
Okay, so no one is on the bridge.
I'll probably go back to my quarters then.
Okay. So at, I guess, some point undetermined in the future after Fisk has showered and people have been in their quarters and stuff, you guys will reconvene?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So after about an hour or so, Tara, when you've taken a nap, you feel a lot less, dried out by the sun. Fisk, you feel clean. You've showered. Your tail feels a little better. It's still sore, it's still achy, but it's not quite as sharp of a pain. Data, you've meditated for a while.
Nice.
And Grits, you aren't really anywhere close to what anyone would consider clean. But you don't have globs of ichor all over you anymore, so
Thankfully, no one can see it.
It's true. All right then. So, you guys on the bridge?
Sure.
Yes.
Already?
I'm gonna try calling Romeo back again, actually.
Okay, no answer.
How long's it been?
It's been about an hour.
This is troubling.
What time of day is it? Where he is? I assume we can look that up.
Yes. So it is evening now where you are. Evening in the cycle that they have on the bubbles. And on Castrovel, it's mid-morning.
Okay. I guess you guys already tried to call him then, judging by your concern.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kind of the fact that the last time we talked to him, he kind of hastily said, "I've got to go," and the connection clicked. I don't know, it's kind of a weird way to end a call if everything's okay. I don't know, maybe we're overreacting?
Well, perhaps we should go back and see him.
Well, we should, but before we do,
The small potted plant! Who were we supposed to deliver the plant to?
I'd
right.
forgotten about that. I was actually more thinking about Terwin. Did you want to go to the cathedral?
If there are more pressing matters, I suppose it can wait. But
No, that was...
We're already here.
That was totally what I was thinking of. Yeah, I mean, of course, the cathedral. Silly plan.
Or we go get the shinies?
What?
We collect a reward.
Well, Ramiel's not answering us. He has our reward.
We'll go find him.
Well, that's what we're thinking, but we should finish up anything we're going to do here first. Like, the cathedral. Not the plant, the cathedral.
We can do both at the same time. Or consecutively.
yes, maybe somebody can do that while I go worship Sarah.
You're going to be... I know this is kind of a weird question. You're going to be safe, right?
I think so. I'm
As
not
much as
exactly a
I-
spring chicken.
As much as I would hate to run into any kind of issues while we're split up, I think Fisk has a point. Maybe you shouldn't go alone.
Well, I'm more than happy to have someone join me. Unless they're going to blaspheme.
I don't
Fisk
think that will happen.
Fisk awkwardly shuffles, and a single whisker twitches. Yeah. Wouldn't ever do anything like that. Unless our lives are in danger. Wouldn't dream of it.
Taron smirks a little bit.
Grits, You basically don't even have a concept of what blaspheming is, so you have no idea what they're talking about.
You probably don't want grids in the cathedral, just saying. Or temple.
You're probably right.
Is Grit saying that out loud? Like, are you...
Nah, that was out of character.
Okay.
Then it's settled. Let's do it. Do we want to draw straws, or do we want to all go together?
Well, I'm fine.
Ergon is still in his quarters, for the record. If you
Well, he's
pass
not
by his
invited.
quarters, you can almost feel the seething resentment and saltiness, like, pouring out of the door.
What's his problem?
He's probably just snoring. That must be how dragons snore.
I feel like any of you guys would be annoyed if you found out that there was just a button to turn off the crazed drone that has been peeing all over you for the last hour.
He's gonna have to take it up with Grits.
He should have asked.
I don't
before
think Grits
he
has a
touched my
concept of empathy in this situation.
Oh, and you're calling me a racist.
He touched my drone.
I don't think that has anything to do with race. He's just a dick. All right, so what are you guys doing? What's the plan?
I'm gonna go to the Radiant Cathedral.
Okay.
And I think most of us are gonna follow.
Let's just all go together.
All right, it looks like a collection of tourists plus one resident are going to head to the cathedral.
I'm gonna bring the potted plant also.
Okay.
Let's go!
So when you pick up the potted plant to take it with you, you notice that it looks like it's almost gone into like a hibernation state. It's definitely still alive, and like the main stalk of the plant is still alive and green, but all of the small branches and leaves have kind of dried and shriveled up.
Okay.
Okay.
It seems to not be a super huge fan of the dry atmosphere here.
You and me both, buddy.
Did someone kill the office plant?
Probably. I mean, Tarrowin was supposed to water it.
I don't remember that.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Does the soil seem dry if I touch it?
It does seem a little dry, yeah.
I'll give it a spritz from the sink before we leave.
Okay.
I don't want to overwater it, so I'm just, I'm gonna grab the little hose and like give it a shower, but a very light.
Okay. As you do this, you notice that a little bit of like some of the branches and leaves kind of crumble off as you put water on it, and they like turn to dust.
Okay.
But you have it. You're carrying it around.
To the cathedral.
All right. From the Dawnshore Spaceport, you guys can just walk to the cathedral. Again, it's probably about an hour walk, a little more than maybe, or you can grab a bus.
I would probably want to grab a.
I'm gonna go wherever Taryn decides.
This is her show right now.
Okay, so you guys all climb onto a bus.
Fist wouldn't
and
want to
head
do the
over.
wrong thing and blaspheme.
Oh my god. Sorry, hang on a second.
Public transit in space.
Space transit. Bubble transit?
Well, at least we know now not to use the space Vespas, because then we look like tourists.
It would be
Okay.
okay in the situation.
Oh, because we look like tourists?
Because we're tourists now.
Oh. I mean, I guess technically that's true.
Most of us aren't tourists.
My pizza is on its way.
Everyone's having pizza. Tyler,
I
you have
could-
to have pizza.
I could
I
just
have
tell.
a pizza in my freezer.
Everybody but you either has had or is having pizza.
I decided I've had steak 4 days in a row, and it's time to give it a rest.
And therefore pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With steak on it?
No. Pepperoni.
Ah.
All right. So you guys make it over to the Radiant Cathedral. Deoda, I'm going to tell you what you know about the Radiant Cathedral, and because you are a worshiper of Sarenrae, Terowin, you also know this information. Grits, Fisk, you don't know this. So here is the quick excerpt on the Radiant Cathedral. Many Sarenites believe that the archipelago was created by Sarenrae, and the Radiant Cathedral is their greatest evidence for that claim. The central spire in Dawnshore required essentially no renovations to make it a perfect worship center. The strange symbols inscribed in the metal and inlaid in the sun-bright glass of the spire are indecipherable and thought by some Sarenites to be a secret language of the Dawnflower. Others believe the symbols tell the story of the true builders of the burning archipelago and point out some slight similarities to obscure deities of ash and flame. The Sarenites have installed a handful of sunskimmer areas at the top of the cathedral where pilots can take their vessels for maintenance of their proprietary technology. Aurora, an unofficial bar attached to these small hangars, is the frequent hangout for sunskimmer pilots where they brag about their daredevil exploits to one another and knock back drinks while their ships are being fixed. So the primary portion of the cathedral is worship and worship oriented, but if you guys were to go all the way up to the top, there is actually a bar up there.
Oh, sweet.
As any good touristy cathedral should have.
Well, the cathedral isn't super touristy. Obviously, you do have some tourists coming to like kind of ooh and ah over the architecture of it, but predominantly it's Sarenites, which is worshippers of Sarenrae. I feel like that's kind of obvious, but just in case. Predominantly it's Sarenites making pilgrimage here. Terowin, we haven't actually discussed this and it hasn't come up, so that's fine. But you probably are either of a Sarenite school of thought that the bubbles were created by Sarenrae, or you don't believe that. So you probably should know that before you go in there, because like you might end up in an argument or something.
I would probably say the former.
So you do believe that they were created by Sarenrae.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes the most sense. That works. And you guys have arrived at the Radiant Cathedral, and it rises up before you, and it is absolutely gorgeous, totally magnificent. This thing is predominantly made of glass, and the glass is like a deep amber color. It looks like the sun itself, with the light pouring through it and dancing through the panes. It almost looks like it's on fire. It is really probably one of the most beautiful buildings and works of architecture that you've ever seen.
Is there... Sorry, this isn't really relevant to the game. Is there any artwork of that in the book?
Let me see. I think there might be in the other one. Let me check.
Don't worry about it. I didn't know if you like had something up on it.
Right back.
Well, I had the excerpt pulled up from the book, but it didn't actually have a picture with it.
Even a quick Google search doesn't really bring up anything.
No big deal then. Sorry.
Yeah, to try and give you guys a sense of scale, though, there is a picture in Pact Worlds of just one of the bubbles, that should help you guys see like how big the buildings are and how small you guys are in comparison. Because I feel like the map really makes it seem like this is a pretty small area, and it's really pretty much the population of a moon, basically. It's really big.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know how
Looking-
to properly share this with you.
You just shared something.
I didn't share that.
Well, I must have clicked on it. What is it called in the book?
This might just be under Burning Archipelago. There's nothing coming up under images. Is Kate back?
No, I believe she's fetching a pizza.
Yeah, fetching pizza.
Okay. Well, we've arrived at the big church with the bar.
Okay, here I do have a picture in the primary one of Dawn Shore, and the spire kind of in the middle is the Radiant Cathedral. So I will try to share this for you guys.
Sorry, Charwin. I'm cutting into your worship time.
Oh, it's okay.
You have returned.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. So, you guys have arrived. I'm trying to get a picture for you, but in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and tell me what you.
I'm kind of just like in awe of the scope of actually, I've probably been able to see it from different parts of the Burning Archipelago.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely the center spire is the tallest spire in Dawn Shore, so you've been able to see that for sure.
Cool. So I've seen it from afar, but being this close is kind of just like breathtaking.
Yeah, you are probably a little overwhelmed right now, honestly.
Yeah, Terwin's not really saying much.
Terwin, have you been here before?
No.
Oh. So what? Do we go in? Can we go in?
I would hope so.
Okay, we'll follow you.
I'm just gonna see if I can walk inside.
Yeah, you can go in. There's no one preventing.
Not like that other church.
Yeah.
Not like that other church.
It was a fake church.
I'm gonna go in and kind of just are there pews?
So you're breaking up a little bit. Could you repeat that?
Are there pews? Can I sit down somewhere, or is it like you find somewhere in?
Yeah, there are pews.
Okay. I'm just gonna find a place to sit, kind of by myself. I mean, if the rest of the party wants to sit near me, that's fine. I'm not be uncomfortable by that or anything. But I'm just gonna sit somewhere.
Pretty badly.
Really? Oh, hang on.
I don't know. He's actually totally fine for me. So.
Yeah, it seems okay.
Yeah, pretty much crystal clear for me. But if you can hear me fine, he said he's gonna hop up on one of the pews, or she's gonna hop up on one of the pews, and if the party sits near her, that's fine. Fisk probably will, like, sit maybe a row behind and twiddle his thumbs, maybe.
Okay.
Because he doesn't like to sit still.
And I'm gonna say a probably not so quick prayer to Sarah.
Okay. Can you tell me what you're praying about or what you're saying or anything like
Kind of just, like, this. Taryn's a little, again, overwhelmed by the temple, so she's sort of just rambling at first. She kind of focuses it and, like, thinks about it, like, Sarenrae is the goddess, like, a goddess of love and compassion and goodness, and kind of just like, I guess praying for safety for the party and for Remiel because he seems to be having some troubles. And I will say a prayer for the baby fire elemental.
that? Aww.
Aw.
Can you tell me roughly how long Taryn would want to be praying here?
At least a good, like, 10 minutes, I'd say. Unless someone like touches her shoulder and tries to get her to go somewhere.
After you, well, I assume no one's doing anything like that. Grits, Fisk, Data, what are you guys doing while this happens?
I think I wouldn't go sit down. I would walk in and like be like in awe of the whole thing. But I think I would step outside the main cathedral room. I forget what they're called. That big
Yeah.
one. And because I have my own deity that I would worship, and I, as respectful as I am of others, like I also kind of just feel like this isn't like my place of worship, so I would step
Mhm.
outside and just kind of wait a while, maybe like look around. If there's like any kind of history of the cathedral, I might go find that to read it. I'm kind of a study bookworm person.
Okay. The cathedral does have a pretty large library here.
I would go there.
Okay.
Yeah, how long is this prayer? If it's Fisk probably would be able to sit still-ish for about 5 minutes. Then Fisk would start fidgeting a bit, looking around the room for maybe another 5 minutes, and then Fisk would probably hop to his feet and start wandering around. So
Okay.
if this is like more than a 10-15 minute prayer, Fisk is probably like kind of pacing around looking at things.
Yeah, Grits would have done the same thing. He doesn't really have any interest in the deities or the cathedral at all. He's not super in all of it. It just looks like a big room to him. So after about 5 minutes, he'll just hop off the bench and go wander off.
It's probably around 10 minutes,
Okay.
give or take.
Instance that he shared the picture I found of the burning or the Radiant
Yes,
Cathedral.
it's but I mean all I can do because I'm not running the game is I threw it on the stream for any of our viewers who want a taste of what this kind of
Oh
looks
yeah,
like.
yeah, I remember that.
So
Impressive.
there you go. It really is. It's some of my favorite art in the book, actually.
This
I think that's really gorgeous.
pleases the ascendant of Sarenrae.
Oh my god. Actually, Fisk, you feel a little humbled standing in here, and you feel like maybe I don't want to say guilty, but like a little tiny bit of shame for your display. Probably just because you're like literally standing in the middle of the Radiant Cathedral, surrounded by ardent followers of Sarenrae in a cathedral supposedly built by her own hand. But yeah, you feel like just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he do. He's trying to be respectful. He just can't sit still. He's kind of like admiring architecture and that kind of stuff. He's quiet, hands behind his back over his tail, kind of rocking on the heels and balls of his feet.
Grits, you're getting a couple confused stares. You probably notice, and you're fairly used to this everywhere you've been recently. There haven't been a lot of other goblins. You haven't really seen any other space goblins much at all since you left your ship. And you feel very aware of the fact that not only are you the only space goblin in here, but that like several people are staring at you a little distastefully.
That really doesn't bother Grits too much.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fine. You do notice it. Grits is just like, yeah, whatever. You just want my shinies. You can't have them. They're also staring at Thimble, who I assume you have with.
Yeah, he's following me around.
Yeah, they're kind of a little confused by your presence and the presence of Thimble. Okay, so Terowin, I need you to actually make some rolls.
Make a prayer check.
Interesting.
Yes, please roll to pray. No. We're just going to go with a standard mysticism because that kind of covers everything and we don't have a separate religion check. So go ahead and make a mysticism check for me. All right. So after the first 10 minutes of sitting there praying, you feel something that you have not felt before. You've been a worshiper of Zarenrae for, I assume, quite a long time, right? Terowin has been...
Couple 100 years or so.
Yeah, something like that. And you have prayed to Sarenrae pretty regularly.
Who's the ascendant now?
Sarowin! You've prayed to
You
Sarenrae
must
pretty
become
regularly.
ascendant.
But you have never felt anything like this before. You feel a warmth spreading kind of from the pit of your stomach outwards to the tips of your fingers. And it feels... It's kind of like that feeling you would get if you drink like a really nice hot cup of tea.
Or alcohol.
Wow.
Wait.
Or that.
Fisk is gonna have to get religious.
And you feel very like peaceful and calm.
I'm just gonna kind of bask in it for a while.
Okay. Are you continuing to pray?
After that, I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break.
Okay.
Enjoy the environment.
All right. Well, let me know when you're done enjoying the environment.
Will do. Actually, I'm gonna kind of look around and see if I can spot anybody else, like from my party.
Yeah. On one side of the room, you see Fisk, kind of fidgeting. He's kind of walking up and down, looking at the architecture of the sanctuary, and he looks a little like impatient, but like he's trying to not be. On the other side of the room, you see a similar display from Grits, and you also notice that several people are kind of looking at him and whispering quietly. You don't see Deoda at the moment.
Okay,
Library with a candlestick.
I guess I'll head over to Grits and ask if he wants
Colonel
to
Mustard?
leave, or like if he's ready to maybe start collecting the others and getting out of here. Grits.
Yeah, Grits isn't very interested in this. Let's go.
It might be for the best, and I'm kind of just like sort of ignoring the people staring.
Did you remove your helmet when you came inside?
If it doesn't hurt my eyes, like I still have my goggles on, but if it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt my eyes to take my helmet off, then yeah, I would have.
Okay. You're getting more whispers because you're a drow. And you're in a place of worship for Zarenrae. And you've been worshipping Zarenrae.
I'm used to it.
Aw.
Are you?
I'm used to being stared at.
Fair enough.
After I pick up Grits, I'm gonna head over to Fisk.
As you walk away, you hear someone behind you. Heretic.
What?
Oh no, he didn't.
I'm just going to ignore that.
So glad
Okay.
I'm not in there right now.
I'm at peace.
I would throw down.
There's still time. Don't worry.
Okay. Tarowin is at peace, and the Grits I don't think cares.
Not so much.
Okay. You make it over to Fisk. Fisk, you now notice that there's more of that whispering, like from before with the college students, except now it just is worshippers of Saren.
Fisk is gonna look up at Terowin. Is something going on? There's a lot of whispering for a church.
I think they might find it strange that I'm in here. And also Grits.
I mean, I guess I kind of get the Grits part. You didn't try to eat anything, did you, Grits?
Oh, there's no food in here. We should go find some food.
We should go find Data.
That's a good point. Where'd she go? Did she say where she was going to you?
No.
Rocky Talkie time. Data, where are you?
I'm in the library.
They have a library here?
Well, it's more of a I'm more in the gift shop section, but it has a large array
They
of
have a
books.
gift shop? Is anything fun?
Oh my god.
It's a church, but it's sort of like makes a reference to something that you would meta know as the National Cathedral of the U.S. How they have that gift shop.
Fair.
It has mostly like different scrolls of Sarenrae available for purchase.
And like
It's-
small models on keychains.
Because why not?
Maybe not on keychains, but they do have
Oh.
like small models of the church.
Yeah.
For purchase.
Saren Ray
Whoa.
Funko Pop.
What?
A Saren Ray Funko Pop.
There is not a Sarenrae Funko Pop.
Not yet. There is.
It's a semi. It's pretty tasteful as far as gift shops go. You know, like it's pretty understated. They aren't selling like ancient religious relics and trying to pass them off as souvenirs.
Ah, so they're not like the guys in the
Yeah,
Brass Bazaar.
we've got the sun divers for that.
Yeah, it's it's scrolls of Sarenrae, some different like scholarly texts on Sarenrae, and a few different little like models of the cathedral that you could ostensibly take home to like place on a shrine if you had one. That kind of stuff.
I suppose we'll meet you there.
Okay, I can meet you. It's no problem. I was just looking up some history in this beautiful cathedral.
Okay.
Did you
Holla,
really
holla,
just
get those
hear
religious
holla holla
dollars.
get those religious dollars?
Yes. Don't be jealous.
Okay. So you guys are heading down to the library and gift shop.
Yes. Everybody knows
suppose
you
so.
exit through the gift shop.
Okay, you go through a library that is as tall as the sanctuary, lined with bookcases, and a lot of ladders. And at the end, there is an exit that takes you through a small gift shop. Really feels like it's tailored towards like, religious worshippers of Sarenrae and not tourists so much. And then you can exit out back onto the street there.
Before they get there, I want to buy like a small mini like a pocket Bible,
Uh-huh.
like a little one for a Tarowin.
Okay, you
Aw.
buy a pocket scroll.
A pocket scroll. Yeah. So I do that really quick.
Okay, it is 20 credits.
Okay.
What? What a ripoff! What kind of a racket is this?
Do you know how long it takes to make a parchment scroll?
I don't know where my money
Yeah,
is.
on a mass production printer
Oh, there it is.
up in Asian Town. Doesn't take a lot of time at all.
Oh my god.
Wow!
I thought Terowin was the racist.
That's been a running joke for episodes.
No, I know it has. That's why it was so good. It was like, wow.
It was good. But, like, also, I'm ashamed.
Fine.
Terowin, as you get ready to exit, I want you to make one more mysticism check.
Okay.
This
You feel
DoorDasher is
nothing.
like dashing hardcore. The map shows them like really close, but they're not supposed to be here for a while.
They picked up like 5 pizzas.
They're like,
Mysticism is not one of my trained skills.
It is not. But, I mean, even if it was, you rolled a 2.
Yeah, but a high enough bonus can offset that.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
I guess we'll meet up with
Leaving?
Data, and
Yeah.
I will attempt to walk out the exit.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you guys exit the gift shop. You're back out on the street. Where are you going?
Well, I suppose we should get to, where was it? Verdion?
Oh, yeah, for the plant. Well, I mean, are you ready? Do you feel better? I don't know how that works. Is that how that works?
I certainly feel something, or I did.
I better go out.
Well, I mean, that's awesome. Good for you. But yeah, if you're ready, I guess we go to Verdion. I don't really remember who we're supposed to give it to, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna wait for us too much longer. Fist kind of looks at the plant and twitches his whiskers.
Looking a little
Right.
sad.
Well, we should see if we can catch a bus over there.
Okay. Fisk is gonna kind of like spin around looking for the bus stop.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for you guys to catch a bus.
Space
All right.
transit.
Space Transit. I am going to need some wisdom checks from you guys to see, because it was hard enough for you to remember what to even do with the plane. I need to know if you remember who to take it to. Fisk, you know.
That he does. That he does.
Woof.
Okay?
15 minutes early.
That's awesome.
16 actually.
Nice.
And like literally I like ran out there as he was pulling out of the driveway. I was like, whoa.
Terowin, you don't remember anything. Data, if you could roll a wisdom check, we're trying to see if anybody remembers where to take, or who to take the small potted plant.
Absolutely.
I don't really know. I feel like at this point Fisk is kind of gonna be loath to part with this small potted plant. It's
Okay.
part of the party identity.
Fisk and Data and Grits remember. Terowin does not, as per usual.
I'm too wrapped up in my my religious experience.
So you guys remember, and Grits, you in particular remember that you need to speak to Paximaz, a Kizar Xeno Warden in Verdion. And Grits, you remember that you have been told that Kizar looks like a large walking tree, and you have been given explicit instructions not to chew on him. Remiel said, don't eat him, or even try to eat him.
Be disrespectful, yo.
So that's mostly what you remember. Is you're supposed to
Oh.
go find a large walking tree thing and not eat it.
So I'll tell the party that we need to go find the tree and see if anybody else remembers what the tree is.
Yeah, Fisk and Data, you guys remember.
We're like surrounded by trees in here, right?
No, it's really hard for trees to grow anywhere other than Verdion.
Oh, I thought we were in Verdion already.
Specifically a walking tree.
You guys have taken a bus over, but you'll need to get a skimmer over from behind the spaceport over to Verdion. That takes about an hour. the trip out to the floating gardens. And once you arrive, you step into a bubble that does not feel as dry and hot and miserable as everywhere else you've been. It is very tropical feeling in here. It's warm. And there's a lot more moisture in the air. It's filled with plants everywhere you turn, and it's pretty cool looking. This just kind of like floating bubble of green in the middle of all of this fire.
Cool.
Yes, this is incredible.
Usually the greenhouse is the miserable place to go. This feels a lot better. So, I guess, does anybody see a walking tree?
I see a lot of rooted trees.
Dude, your knowledge of the floating gardens is that they are the headquarters of the Xeno Wardens in Verdion and also in the Burning Archipelago. There's not a lot of Xeno Wardens here because there's obviously not a lot of plant life here, but they've kind of taken over Verdion and specifically the Floating Gardens. And that is definitely the place to go if you're looking for a Xeno Warden.
Okay. I got some of that. Oh, 1 second. I'll relay that to them. I'm kind of like amazed right now, but who has the plant?
Taryn.
Taryn.
Okay. Wait, what'd you say it was? We have to. Where's the name of the place? The
The Floating Gardens.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Verdion is primarily composed of the Green Belts, the Floating Gardens, and the Vestrani Gaming Complex.
Let me look at the picture again because I don't remember.
Gaming complex, you
okay.
said.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know why I was thinking that it was switched on this. Okay. Yeah, I'll relay that to them. I think we need to head towards the Floating Gardens.
Okay. How do we get there?
Is there a map?
Can we see them?
I mean, I think I've been here before.
Yeah, they're kind of like directly ahead of you guys, and you can just make your way through the dense jungle to what is pretty clearly a large amount of floating platforms in the middle of the bubble that are covered in plants.
I think it's probably that way.
That seems right. Let's go.
All right, I'll start heading that way.
Did you point with your tail?
No, it's hurt.
Aw.
Poor Fisk. So you guys make it over there, and it's pretty quiet. You don't see anyone hanging around right now. There are a lot of different platforms, but you don't immediately see a way to get from one platform to another.
Is there like a desk or something, or anyone standing around, or is it just like a complete like a park?
It's kind of more like a park. I mean, if parks were jungles, but yeah.
What was the guy's name again?
Paximaz.
Paximaz. I'm just gonna start yelling that. Paximaz, are you here? We're looking for Paximaz.
After a couple of minutes, a skittermander comes skittering out from the trees. Do you see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Because it's a skittermander. Okay. It's small, it's pink, it's furry, and it comes running up to you. Excuse me, can I help you?
I'm looking for Paximaz. We were told to make a delivery.
Paximaz. Ah, Paximaz. Yes. Wait here. I will go and find him and bring him back. And then it turns around and runs off.
Okay. Well, I hope it doesn't take too long. You know, we're in a hurry.
Something tells me it won't. I mean, I thought Uesugi moved fast. Whoa.
It's a good thing we didn't like get jumped by that one in the Brass Bazaar. It was like too whacked out on whatever it was smoking.
Ah, the space weed. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't move nearly as fast.
Not after the space weed, no.
We know.
You were quite slow, if I remember.
And Grits, you were in interesting shape too.
Stomach of iron.
Okay, so we're waiting with the small potted plant for the large potted tree.
Yes.
I don't believe the tree is potted.
Can I get perception checks from everyone?
Whoops, sorry.
I see everything.
Why do you guys waste your high rolls on these checks and not for like, I don't know, life or death situation?
Maybe we're not cut out for this life.
Maybe we should stick to small pest wrangling.
Oh my god.
Why?
I don't
Fisk,
know.
did you roll twice?
Yeah, that's why I said sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I tried to put the brakes on that second roll, but
Stop with the brakes,
the brake
please.
fell off.
No.
So the
His
super
brakes are
exciting thing
broken.
that Terowin perceives that no one else does, because Terowin is the only one that rolled high enough.
Wait,
is
I rolled
that
a nat 20. Oh, was it that high?
I had a
32.
minimum. It was 30 was the DC check.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Whoa.
awesome. We almost all
Terowin,
made it with
you
our
notice
really good
another
roll.
dimension in the corner.
Terowin, what you notice is that the plant that you're holding seems to have perked up a little bit. You see that the green is kind of spreading back through the plant. And you notice, and you don't know what this means, but you notice it has some little black spots appearing on the leaves.
Okay. I'm going to point that out to the rest of the group. Oh, the plant seems to be doing well in here.
Any idea what those spots are?
I'm not sure. Maybe we can ask the... What was the tree's name? Poxima?
The tree's
Paximaz.
name is, Paximaz. The race is Kizar, which I can get a picture for you.
Maybe we can ask, what was it, Paximaz? If it knows about anything like...
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's gonna know.
That's a Kizar.
I was picturing int. That is not an int.
That is exactly what I was picturing.
This is actually a playable race. Fun fact.
That's my next
be
character.
one.
I remember that. I was looking at it. I'm like, but how does one?
How does one anything, really?
Yeah. You never have to go to the bathroom.
Just photosynthesis all the time.
Wow.
Okay. After about 10 minutes, you hear some scurrying, and the Skittermander reappears with part of the jungle following it. This super tall, lanky, viney green creature steps out from the trees following the little Skittermander. They really look very disconcerting next to each other, given the differences. The only similarity is that they are both wearing traditional green cloaks of the Xeno Wardens. And actually, let me get some culture checks from you guys to see how much you know about Xeno Wardens.
You'll have to forgive me, I'm uncultured swine.
That is correct.
Actually, my worst roll all night.
You still rolled the highest.
Ha!
So Data, you're the only one that really knows what keys are. Or, sorry, Xeno Warden. None of you really know what Keysars are. you've kind of heard of them, but I don't think any of you would have ever seen one. They're very...
Gotcha.
Okay, so Xeno Wardens.
Hold on. I usually just look this stuff up. I
Um,
remember it in the book.
yeah, it is in the book. Basically, what you know about them is that they are kind of like, you know, an environmentalist group, but they're kind of on the edge of like, they're not like terrorists, but they aren't above armed conflict when necessary. They actually
Gotcha.
have a couple different branches. One branch is, oh my god. One branch is the Green Guards and another is the Wild Knights, and they are known for their combat prowess. So the Xeno Wardens are not to be fucked with, essentially.
Ooh.
I can respect that.
Like their goal is preservation of environments, you know, saving plants and all that. And obviously they tend to have they're kind of like an order of druids, and predominantly they're not going around looking to fight, but you know that if they're threatened or if an environment is particularly threatened, they will buckle down.
Gotcha. Well, we're not going to be doing any of that. I'm just gonna like step kind of like behind Terwin, who has it was Terwin who has the plant, right? I thought so.
Yes.
Step kind of behind Terwin and kind of like gesture like, we've brought your plant.
Oh, I was not aware of a plant delivery.
Oh, we got this on Castrovel, right?
Yes.
This is
Actually, Terwin, that's the closest you've come to really remembering anything all night, so I will give you a little more. You remember. You couldn't remember anything else, but what you do remember is this. The Xeno Wardens have had great difficulty in retrieving some of the flora of lost Galarian, given that most of the transplanted plant life is under the care of the elves, who guard it jealously as one of the few remnants of their lost planet. Remiel says this plant is a gesture of goodwill and peace to the Xeno Wardens, and a show of support towards their goal of preserving samples of all plant life within the Pact Worlds.
this plant. This is a gift from not the elves, but a specific elf. It's a show of goodwill, and I kind of like am like holding out my hand with the plant.
As soon as you say elf, he steps forward. You can't obviously tell much of an expression given that he doesn't seem to have a face, but he seems very interested and he puts a hand out. This is from the elves?
Yes, it's as I said, it's a gesture of goodwill towards the Xeno Warden.
Is this Golarian?
I believe so. Yes.
He takes the plant from you with great care and begins examining it.
I'm. Do you know anything about these black dots that have appeared?
No, I am not an expert on Galarian plant life. This is the first one I've seen, but he turns to the Skittermander and like leans down and shows him the plant. That doesn't look like anything I've seen before. I mean, it could be a type of plant fungus, but it's not one that I'm particularly familiar with. I mean, he like looks at the leaves and kind of like scrapes a little bit off. I'd have to do some research. We'll probably need to take it back to the lab. Maybe put a couple samples under the microscope, and we'll see what we can find out. But off the top of my head, no, it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. But Galarian, we haven't had much experience with it. It could be anything. Maybe it's just what the plant is supposed to look like.
Do you guys have like a quarantine process that you undergo when you have new fauna coming in? I mean, Fisk kind of looks around at all the green. I don't know. Is it compatible with everything you have?
We try our best to quarantine everything before it arrives, when it arrives, to try and prevent anything from happening to plant life that we already have here, but also to prevent anything that we have here from contaminating new samples. So it'll go through our standard quarantine procedure. We should get it back to the lab as quickly as possible just to make sure. But this is amazing. I mean, we haven't had any samples from Lost Golaria in years. I mean, I think we have a couple somewhere, but they're highly guarded, and we don't let anyone look at them, especially not. We're new here. We've only been here for like a decade. There are people that have been here, centuries, and we don't have access to that kind of stuff. But this is amazing. This is amazing.
Well, it looks like you do now. I'm really happy that that Castroville could help. Diplomacy times 10.
I am grateful for what you have brought. We accept this gift of goodwill, and we ask that you thank the elves for this.
I will do so.
He picks up the plant, and because the Skittermander is like looking at it and kind of holding on to it, the Skittermander kind of goes with the plant.
Aw.
And he turns around and heads back off into the jungle of a park with the Skittermander scrambling to hold on to his arm.
Well, that was weird. Also kind of cool.
Ah.
Never seen a walking tree before. So, I guess we probably should get back to the ship and maybe try and raise Remiel. And if we can't do that, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we should get back to Castroville.
I agree.
I mean, we need to get paid. Also, I'm starting to get a little worried.
It's concerning that he hasn't picked up yet.
Yeah.
That nobody's picked up.
Okay. You guys start heading back. And let's get some perception checks. Taro, you're deaf, dumb, and blind.
Oh my god. That was bad.
Holy shit. Okay, you guys make it back to the ship and you don't notice anything.
Woohoo!
I still rolled the second best.
Well, it must have been a high DC.
Clearly.
Not that high.
Well, 20 maybe.
Or we're just terrible.
Remember that I have adjusted my DCs to match the type of bonuses you guys have?
No, but okay.
Oh my god. Okay. You don't notice anything and you make it back to the ship.
Okay. I guess I'll try to ring Remiel one more time.
We're gonna go to the bridge.
Okay. You do not get an answer.
Oh no.
It's almost
Okay, I-
like I expected that.
I definitely think it's time to check in. This is way too suspicious.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I find like a news report, like local to Castroville or something?
Sure. You actually find something pretty quickly as soon as you get the news on.
Oh no.
More details are coming in on the attack on Rajurio Labadon. He was reportedly survived another assassination attempt in his penthouse suite today. He is recovering in isolation. His whereabouts are currently unknown for his personal safety. We ask that anyone attempting to send well wishes to the senator, please direct them through his, and they list out like a professional address at the kind of like the political district of L. We're receiving updates as they come, and we'll continue to report on the situation as it develops. Right now, we don't have a solid lead on who the assassin might be. We suspect that the Formians have launched another attack
No.
as war is pretty much breaking out between the Formians and the Lashunta on Castroville. The elves have no choice but to get dragged into it, and we are assuming at this point a small terrorist group of Formians are responsible. Again, as more information becomes clear, we will continue to update you. That is currently what we are assuming. So if you do see any Formians in L or the surrounding area, please report them to your local authorities immediately.
While this was playing, Fisk was starting to bring ship power online and put in for a departure clearance.
Okay. It's a little early, but I think we are going to end there because that's a really good wrapping up point.
Oh yeah, right where, our benefactor might be in serious trouble. Good.
Yeah.
Might be.
That's true though. Like we don't want to yeah, it makes sense though.
Yeah, agreed. Cliffhangers.
What?
Sorry, not
No,
sorry.
you're right. Like it's a good place to stop.
So, that's where we are. The perception check on the way back was to see if any of you noticed like the newsreels that were broadcasting that had that information on them. So I'm glad you checked, Tarwin.
Nice.
Good thought. Because if not, we probably just would have started doing what we're going to do and powering back toward Castroville.
Yeah, but at least now you have an idea of what's going on.
That's fair. Well, that was fun. Thank you very much, illustrious GM.
You're welcome. Thanks to all the new viewers for stopping by and hanging out with us.
And the subs.
And the new subs.
Yeah.
And all of the
We
bits
appreciate
from
it.
our, admittedly from our players.
Yeah, the bits are all from us.
Oh, you're so welcome. And to
Cheer ourselves.
everyone watching, we'll be back tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, with Myths of Taldore. And following Tuesday, Nerd Made at 8 p.m. We will see everybody who wants to join us there.
Yeah, and by the way, when we say we'll be back tomorrow, I think the only person from this group that will actually be on tomorrow is Tyler, aka Tarwin.
Fair enough.
So the rest of us won't be, but Tyler is on Myths of Taldore. And then Nerd Made next Tuesday is me and a couple other girls on the channel hanging out and making things. So yeah, I guess that's the next upcoming stuff. Thanks again for hanging out, stopping by, and we will see you next time on Space Vespas. I mean Starfinder. I mean Cosmic Chronicles.
Oh, you'll get that right one day. Thanks so much for watching. Good night!
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.